listening. Today we have both Luke Lewis and... Are you going as Maddy Forberg still, or what are we doing?
Yeah. That's still the name for now. I've got like this mental rule that I don't want to change my name until we have like our actual wedding ceremony. Make it real when it's real.
I'm kind of indifferent on the name thing. I'm just always interested in what's going forward, especially because you have a public thing. Like, it seems crazy to...
Yeah, because I feel like people wouldn't know who Maddy Lewis is, you know? But at the same time, if I'm just writing like a check or something... The brand could probably stay Maddy Forberg.
Yeah. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Right?
Unless Luke was just like very opinionated about it.
Oh, unless Luke wants to change.
Just furious.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has to change
You
it to
could be
Vincent.
Luke Forberg.
No.
Forberg.
Yeah.
No.
You wouldn't take the lady's name?
Wow, what about my brand, man?
Mac
Right.
gets plenty of
That's
mail
same.
that's addressed to Matthew Schroeder now.
That's true.
No way.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Something with our
None of it's something
our
I'm interested
LLC.
in. Our LLC is Space Cats LLC.
Bonnie was telling me that earlier, and
Space
I want to
Cats?
see that picture.
Yeah, you can name them anything you want.
You have a logo for this?
Not yet.
Doug?
It should just... It's basically... we do kind of have an image.
That would be awesome.
We do have an image because I was telling Maddie about it. I said that on a plane ride somewhere, Matt had a picture of the boys, Ollie and Doug, on his iPad and was in what's the app? What's the color drawing thing?
On the iPad.
Oh, I thought you had something. And drew little space helmets on them, like with little antennas. And it's just the greatest picture. And I don't even think I did anything on that flight. I just sat back and like watched him draw this. And I was like, this is fucking incredible. Look at them. And so there we go. Space Cats. It's a thing.
Cats.
That's our real estate business
That's the
now.
biz.
Yeah, that's our real estate
Incredible.
investment business.
Could you see yourself going in another direction with Space Cats as well?
As in trying to send cats to space?
Yeah,
Like trying to put together
that's-
some type of Elon Musk space program, but based on cats?
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Only if I can fulfill all the employee roles with cats. We're not going to get a lot done.
I feel like by then maybe we could have the technology for it.
Oh, I don't think it's a technology issue. I think it's a cat issue. You might get 10 minutes productivity a day.
So we need a lot of cats.
Yes.
So
I
equal-
depend on it on
How
a
many-
rotating cycle.
How many cats does it take to be as productive as an Elon? Like, what's the... What's
Yeah, what's the conversion rate?
It has to be similar to the yin. It's like 10,000 to 1 or something. Elon's an
Hundreds.
incredible human. So, look, you guys came here, we figured out a year ago, and we've kind of finished everything since last time you were here. And since we're all homies, like, I just wanted to do a show, the four of us, and catch up about life and bullshit and all that type of stuff. And then we can do actual interviews with you guys about the stuff I'm interested in. Deeper dives, if you will.
Deeper dives. No, and I think it's a good idea because a lot has happened since we had that last podcast. I think we did the Would You Rather.
I think we
last
did.
time, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. But yeah, lots happened.
Yeah, we saw y'all in
Strange,
Vegas,
yeah.
but we didn't really get time to podcast or catch up too
Right.
much out there.
Man, I forgot about that.
That was
yeah.
last time. It would have been May.
Yeah, that seems
March.
like recent, but then also a
10 years
really
ago.
fucking long time
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
Still about a year.
That's
Yeah.
how the last 2 years have felt.
Yeah.
As if like a lot has happened, but nothing has actually.
Yeah, what a
happened
weird
also.
thing, right? That it feels like this weird pause has been put on, but at the same time, not for everyone.
Yeah. The pandemic has
Yes.
highlighted how fake time is to me. Like how much we made it up.
Okay,
You know, like who's to say that I can't wake up at 2 a.m. and work?
dude.
Who,
Dude,
I'm an
I live the
adult.
exact same fucking life. Thank God.
Nobody said I couldn't do that.
I'm just at a point now. It's like I'll go to sleep when I'm tired, and when I'm awake, I'll do things.
Yeah.
And because this place exists, and because the windows are like a casino, and you don't know what time it is in this building at any point, and we pump oxygen in, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
Like if I want to come work at 3 a.m. because I'm awake for some stupid reason, I'm done
And who
arguing
cares?
with my brain of like, go back to sleep. Like, fuck it, we'll just go.
Yeah, I feel that. You actually changed my life one time when you had said, like, I know what time my productive hours are, and I'm not going to try and force it to anything else. And I was like, wow, I never thought of it that way. I thought we all had to be working, efficiently at the same time, same hours of the day. And that's so unrealistic. Like the 2 a.m. thing, I totally mean that. Like I'm very productive between like 5 or 6 in the morning to like 3 p.m. And then I'm just a bag of shit. I'm just useless.
Same.
Just
My
crash, done.
perfect is 6 to 2.
Yeah.
I'm on fire.
Yeah.
6 to 2 at 3 p.m. I'd like to be doing very, very little to nothing.
Yeah.
Recently, like with what life's been throwing at me, it seems by like 6 to 2, and then at 2, if I can train or do something, I can almost get a reset. And like I get a chance to run at it again, but only until about 6.
Yeah.
The second window is a much shorter run.
Yeah.
But I have to refocus it.
Right.
That's kind of like what we've been trying to figure out. What works best for the two of us, even though we work in the same office. Like, when does she work best? When do I work best? And that sounds a little bit like mine, where I can work pretty well for 3-4 hours in early morning. Then I have to have like a total break, train, take myself out of there, and then seem to have like a big second surge. But I don't want to be doing it up until like 9-10 p.m. at night, because I'm just like...
How have you guys figured out how to balance, like, I mean, over the last 2 years, so one of the things I got to watch was people work from home. I've done this for a decade. Like, I ran a real outside sales job working from the house, so I'm used to, like, pacing myself, being at home and not being distracted by home things. I got rid of that window. It's hard, and everyone has to figure it out.
Right.
Like, how did you guys figure that out, and then both being at the same place all the time?
Yeah, that's tricky, and I think we've only really gotten into the groove recently. I'm doing a lot more stuff with my business, and I very much so struggle with ADHD, and my mental health wasn't doing well. So I had talked to a psychiatrist, and I got back on my ADHD meds, and I got back on an antidepressant. But Wellbutrin is also often used for people that have ADHD as well, because it's more of like a mood kind of thing.
Okay.
You know, you feel super productive, and so I have worked the best I ever had since being on that combination. But the biggest thing for me is telling myself that the online or at-home work is a real job. You have to treat it like a real job and show up for it like it's a real job. And you can't just be like, oh, you know, I'll go, you know, at 10 in the morning and go and work until 9 p.m. Like, the best way for me personally is to act like I'm going into the office, know that I can be flexible. Like, let's say I didn't sleep until 2 in the morning and I needed to wake up at 7 or 8. That's fine. But like, show up for the job and be there and have your lunch break and do all that. And of course, like, we work from home for the flexibility of it and the financial freedom. But for me personally, on my hardest working days or like biggest stack days, treat it like it's an actual 9-to-5 job.
Sure.
I'm still figuring it out.
Right.
Yeah, like I said, I think I'm playing along with when I'm more productive and when I'm not. And
you're still pretty early in a lot of business development stuff. You're still kind of figuring out exactly what's working.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm finding like certain times of the day work best for me. But like you just said about, do you get distracted from normal day life? I'm the kind of person that if I make a list of like 10 things, I'll want to make sure I do them all. But 9 times out of 10, it doesn't actually happen. And you have to be happy with, I can do this amount. I can do 1 to 5 and do it very, very well. And then like I have tomorrow, or I have that second surge later on today where I can focus on this, where I'll get like stuck on 1, 2 and just like fry my brain. Cause I'm like, oh, I have to do this all perfect. Everything has to be perfect. Whereas in reality, you know, you have the ability when you work for yourself at home, like, I'm going to do some solid, really good work for 2 hours, step away from it, come back and have a look at it. Is it good enough? And then move on. So that's basically where I'm.
Yeah, for sure. And man, I'm smiling because like, they're all, of course, these are the problems to solve. Like, this is the same. I did it. Like, I'm now remembering, like, you know, our age difference, right? And like, so I can look back and be like, just, you're on the right path. Like, that's it. Like, don't ever think that you're late or any of that. Like, you're doing it. There's no way to skip this step. And like feeling incompetent, like you don't know what you're doing, that's part of it. Yeah, otherwise, go fucking work for someone else.
Yeah.
Otherwise, just so you know, every day, 8 years in to everything I have going on, I have very little true idea of what the fuck I'm doing. So if that's a feeling you're trying to get rid of, sorry.
Well, something we keep reminding each other, like when Luke feels a bit more frustrated in the day, is like, hey, you know, we're in this fitness space and we got a lot of really cool friends doing cool shit. But not a lot of normal people have their own business. Like, we're very
Yeah.
different, but it feels normal. It feels
yeah.
normal for all of us to be having this, our business and whatever. But if we stepped out into the normal world or our hometown, like 3 people, would be able to say that. Like, that's not normal. And it's okay to struggle because not
Yeah.
everybody's doing it. It's hard.
It's so easy to let those perspectives get wrapped up in this bubble that we operate in, right? Of entrepreneurs and fitness and people building their own universes and comparisons within that world, until you look outside and you're like, oh, people would just love to have the opportunity to do this or don't even know how to get to this point, It's back to just perspective.
And we're all consuming other people's content that do the same thing as us and doing it really well. And that's why we follow them or have them in our circle.
Or remember that what you're seeing is a curated view of their business.
Right.
You're only seeing their advertising.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And so what's been really huge for me is having close relationships and friends who do what I do.
Right.
And be able to call and verify with someone else of like, hey, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, you've got a lot of like close friends in the apparel business, and I'm sure that's pretty reassuring at times to be like, are things trending like this for you?
Well,
Like,
it is, as long as you guys everyone's cool with being honest with each other about when it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't want, like, oh man, I can't let people see that like there's a fucking struggle. Like, yo, the struggle's the part of it.
Yeah.
You already checked in with a few people around Black Friday. Everyone's dealing with the same bullshit.
And so like, all right, fucking what that means is it's not directly on us.
Right. Yeah. It's
So
not
fucking
like you
hold
did
the
something
line
wrong.
and let's start figuring out then how to make a move.
Right.
It just I'm trying to figure out where the light is on the problem that actually needs to be solved, because I don't believe that problem, say, is quality of design.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you guys have gone, miles away from how things used to be. You've progressed so much. So
Yeah, it's been fun. And again, like, fucked a bunch of stuff at the end of last year, ordered like too many things, and just out of stress and panic and being in Dubai, I just fucking panicked before Black Friday and I ordered too much shit. And so the good news is we basically have apparel and goat shorts to get us through May or June. The bad news is I've paid for all those and I'm broke.
I was going to say, what do you do with all that? You just
They sit in the
burn it
warehouse
up.
and
Sit
you
on it and
fucking
we
stare
wait.
at them and realize you have to pace it out and be smart instead of like, why doesn't my money look like shorts?
One of my shorts.
But it fucking happens. And and for me, like, I stay focused too on now being able to say, like, anytime I run into these big picture problems, of being able to say, everyone I look up to who's doing what I've done figured this out. So if I want to be on that side of the line, I have to figure it out.
Yeah.
Figure this thing out, move on to the next one.
Well, and the last time we were here, you highlighted something that we often reiterate as well, is like, none of it's magic. Like, the people
Yeah,
that
that
have
was a
gone
good
through
saying.
it, they didn't, step into a fucking vat of magic and then everything was figured out. They had to figure it out, and there were steps to it. And if you're at that step, well, we know people who did the magic.
Right. Right. And dude, that's exactly right. Like, amazing that, so you're able to transform your body and go from competing in powerlifting to wellness, which new category, but still the same thing, right? Like, your job here is to get as lean and aesthetic, which is
Right.
totally different machine building than what you did with powerlifting. And I'm sure the same voice comes from the crowd of like, well, she's good at powerlifting due to genetics. And then somehow 20 weeks into being ready to be on stage, and it's like, sure, but genetics. Like, motherfucker, which one is it?
Yeah, right. Can't be blessed with both, man.
No, dude, there's no
Nuts.
magic.
Yeah, right.
And I'm sure at this point you're aware, right? That like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, for everyone, it's really fucking hard.
Right, exactly. And, we think about that all the time. Like, because I'm doing a lot new business stuff. Luke's really pushing the online stuff more now. And it's also interesting to see him start and go through issues that I also went through. I'm like, man, okay, like, we're really not alone in any of the things that we struggle with at all.
No.
Which is so reassuring.
Right. Right. Like, even us laughing about this friend that I made from the porn industry.
Mm-hmm.
and like starting to hear like what she does and travels and does all this and creating this OnlyFans content and the amount of money she's making, which I don't understand. But like hearing her talk about it and then like getting past very quickly the detail of what it is you're doing for a living and getting to the mechanics of like what it is that she does to make money.
Right.
And it's create content. It's travel and film. Like she still has to do makeup. And I'm like,
It's not that different.
that's the exact same fucking life I live.
Yours is just
I have
sex
more
ed.
clothes on when I point the phone at me most of the time.
Most of the time.
Most of the time. I show a lot less penetration.
Well, there's a viral video on your page that would say the difference.
Whoa, hang
That's
on.
right.
What's this? Let's discuss
Your
this.
only viral video.
Oh, where you mentioned my butt.
I got
Yeah.
your butt. Good.
Yeah.
People
yeah.
loved it.
Damn it.
Was that a viral video? Yeah.
Yeah,
Got
it's
like,
like a million
1.1
fucking
million
views.
No way.
Dude,
views.
everything I've created in my
It's
life,
just-
and that's what went.
all the money.
It's
I
just
wasted
me
so
filming.
much energy.
It's just me filming my pinch coming in, getting his
Yeah.
butt,
Yeah.
and then he aggressively like strips off his clothes, like making eye contact.
Yeah.
Puts it to some good music. What did you put it
It
to?
doesn't matter.
Yeah, and
Doesn't
it just
fucking matter.
fucking popped. People loved it.
Of all the things.
Of all the
Son of a-
dope shit we've created.
Gone to Iceland, picked up stones.
God damn it.
Nobody
Fuck you
cares.
people.
Yeah.
Oh, you put it
This
to
is what you want. You want
did the-
garbage. Bunch
I'm
of
too
fucking poor
sexy.
garbage out there.
What if you just like took a turn and you're like, all right, that's the formula. Now all my content is just Bonnie pinching my
just-
ass.
Butt
Like it was
pinching. And
seriously,
that
it's
might
something
work.
like
Could
that.
be a good intro for
for
new
the
drops.
goat shorts. It's
Right.
just
Sure.
Bonnie
Right.
pinching
The
each
goat short.
pair of
so,
shorts off
but
you.
that's what we're playing with content-wise. Like, so what worked from that piece, and how do we pivot that to use it in a smart way? Like, instead of being mad about the changes in what content works, are we in the game or are we not?
Right.
And if we're in the fucking game, that means we need to problem solve to figure out how to create content that engages our audience that somehow works with
Yeah.
whatever the new thing is. That's the job.
Yeah.
That's what I fucking signed up for. It's never going to work back the other way for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so either go for it or move on.
Yeah. Complain about how annoying it is
it's
or
Yeah, adapt
just
or
do
die.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it ain't
Adapt or
never
die.
coming back. It was
It's
the Wild
this-
West.
It's the same that we're dealing with coaching stuff. Whereas, like, obviously, Maddy's doing a lot more reels with, like, the actual words coming up and explaining what's happening. And the same thing that I'm trying to do is reels obviously do really well, but I don't want to, like, fully dive into the fact where I'm, like, being an idiot. And
Right?
I feel like repetition goes a long way further than just getting a couple of views on a reel or something like that. So
Yeah, you guys are trying to provide educational content
Yeah,
and help
exactly.
athletes and help
Exactly.
lifters and bodybuilders and powerlifters versus doing a gimmicky dance routine.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
it. That's
Some
the
of those
difference.
dances.
But
look
it's like
pretty
you
good,
just
though.
said, like, you have to. But if that's what people want to see in that kind of, way, not just like a slow, long, drawn out video, kind of snappy reels, then that's what you have to
Yep.
to make. But also keep in mind that you want to save your reputation.
Well,
and
Yeah,
keep-
still
keep-
provide
content
the
out
biggest
there.
thing to keep in mind is that eyes aren't as valuable as the bright eyes as far as marketing goes, right? Like, and even the way we've felt about it shift in the last couple months is, whatever my current following is and whatever I'm looking at the engagement of it. And I'm like, fuck, it's not growing, blah, 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 whatever that means. And instead of having that stress, it's more like, well, how do I serve better these people who've already said I'm interested?
Yeah.
And so if your target audience is coaches and athletes, you don't need to appeal to a bunch of 12-year-olds.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That doesn't do you any good to sell your product.
Yeah.
So make a product. So even I'd rather have less people that are more engaged.
Yeah.
And so like,
But
that's
it's
the
good
thing to
content
remember,
that
right?
people
Like, yeah.
Respect.
I think that was a big revelation for us. How do we serve the people better that are already here?
Yeah. I love that you guys have done the Sunday service. I think that's genius. Being able to give back and just provide a safe space for everybody.
Dude,
Like,
it's been really cool. It didn't expect it. It definitely wasn't the plan.
mhm.
Like I
No.
didn't have any of this fucking figured out. I didn't plan to never share any of this. with
Right,
anyone.
of course. Why would you? It's yours.
No.
That's always been
we're
the
gonna,
point.
We're going to stay isolated forever.
Right.
Till Halloween. Until I said,
Yeah,
hey,
until-
let's have a party here.
Dude, and even that, right? I caught it. Like, we did the party and 100% on Bon. like decorated and went all out and fucking made it really rad. I didn't stop it, is essentially what I added to that.
Okay.
Matt bought pizza.
Yep. And I was excited about it, but man, I could feel that part of me of like promoting it, that no one's coming. And how embarrassing it is to promote it a bunch and no one come. But if no one comes and I didn't promote it a bunch,
Yeah.
Safe.
but
Right.
yo, I fucking felt it and I sniffed it out and I could feel it at the end of it. Like why did you half-ass this, dude? Like when people came and it was rad and it felt good, like why did you fucking half-ass it? Why the imposter syndrome? Like why that thing of like why would anyone care about our thing in this shitty building? Like
Just the vulnerability of it.
well, it's
Super
comparison too.
And I was like, this might be a party with just 10 of our friends.
Yeah.
And we have to be cool with that if that's the case.
Yeah.
But we were lucky and like 40, 50 people showed up. And I feel like you were kind of in that mindset in the beginning. And then I saw you shift during the party to like really being open and engaging and having a good time. But yeah, it was tricky for you a little bit.
Yeah, it was a really
But you caught it, which is key.
yeah. And so from that point on, like, be all in. If we're
Yeah.
gonna fucking bother doing it, don't do that failure avoidance thing. Don't halfway it so you can say you didn't try.
Well, this guy I know once made a hoodie and some shirts that said, it's either fuck yes or fuck no. So
You're not wrong. There's still reminders to me. It's not like I have it perfect and dialed in all the time. I fuck stuff up on the constant.
unacceptable.
Half the shit that comes out of my mouth is yelling back at this person.
But after the Halloween party, we were like, oh, we really love how a gym full of people feels.
Yeah.
How do we
And-
make this happen more often?
And that night, like it wasn't ever a gym. Like so
It was just a space that held you.
And we were really purposeful on a couple things, right? Like we had a bartender here and had an open bar, but we're very cautious. I'm like, this is not what we're trying to do. As a bartender, you're not here to get people fucked up.
Yeah.
Prefer that not to be the vibe.
Yeah.
I just don't want to deal with drunk people. It's fucking lame. And so, but and then like with having the big front room, like I kind of thought for a second, like, do we get some washers or games? And I don't want that either. I want people to talk.
Yeah.
And so the music wasn't ever crazy high, and like it was just this big mingle hangout. And that vibe has continued into the Sunday services that we started opening the gym 10 to 2 on Sundays, and it basically, it feels like play. Like there's people doing jujitsu, there's people doing hot and cold in the sauna, there's people trying new things that they've been uncomfortable about, and we've given an environment of like, just come play with us.
Yeah.
And it's been cool, and there's the only thing at this point I'm like, what the fuck did you wait to do this for? This feels way right and what you should be doing.
Because we were so excited on having a private space. We enjoyed the privacy, and we do 6 days a week. Like it's fine.
Well, and that's okay
We can
to
open
do
this
that.
up
Other
on
than those 4
Sundays.
hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm so excited you guys are going to be here this Sunday for it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
can't
And
wait.
meet
Me
people,
too.
and people get to see you, and oh my god, Maddy Forberg,
I
Luke
miss
Lewis at
that.
the gym. Dude, I miss it a little bit too, like getting to interact with people. I'm like, we did FitCon, twice this year, and it's almost like you're out of practice when you
Yeah.
talk to people, and you're like, oh, I'm talking to someone that's been paying attention.
Yeah.
Like really paying attention, And I've picked up clients like that have popped
That's
in
cool.
from Sunday service, and Matt's had people from his mentorship group come in, or people join
There's
his
been
mentorship
people
group
like
because of
drove
it.
5 or 6 hours to come
Fuck
up
yeah.
for Sunday service. Like
Last week we
it's
had that
been
guy from
interesting.
Texas.
Yeah.
Wow.
Lewis.
Like sent Matt a really, really deep, serious message afterwards, like about how meaningful it was for him, how nervous he
Wow.
was. Like we forget, like what it can mean. to
Actually,
people.
I'd like to share that message. I talked to him and told him I wanted to share it, and he said, "Cool."
yeah, he was really sweet.
And
told him to come back
and
anytime.
stuff like this is, it's so above and beyond. And I guess what I'm just getting at is you don't know what people are dealing with.
No.
And so like this guy hit me up and like wants to drive from Sunday service, coming in from Texas, lives in his van. Like, oh, sick. That's not the weirdest thing we've ever fucking seen. We deal with van life people all the time. And so like he hit me up after he left. So this was on the following Monday, and he said, I just finished a podcast you did with Amanda, and everything just hit me. This is one that I recently did about a girl who runs psilocybin retreats in Mexico.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's her job. That one thing is live today or whatever. He said, I'm about to be real honest with you, man. I was drowning in life. I could feel the spiral pulling me back down as I was fighting it off. I could feel December 22 coming back, and I knew I couldn't let that happen again because I hung myself in the woods and I wasn't going to allow myself to become that depressed and angry again. So like I told you, I said, fuck it, and I have to go there. I have to meet Matt and Bonnie. I have to see what this experience is. He said the anxiety kicked in as soon as I started driving up there, and I was literally shaking from it the whole way up. Every fiber in me was telling me, do not go. Just turn around, because I didn't belong there. Dude, I can't express how much this changed things for me. How much lighter I feel and how easier I can breathe now. Hearing you and Amanda talk about the mind and experience, and just remembering of how much I could just be myself. And sharing the boxing with people and just vibe. It really freed me from my anxiety and depression I was drowning in, and I can see clear paths ahead. New avenues to take. So thank you and Bonnie for doing the 10 to 2 Sunday thing. Thank you for allowing me to come and meet people and experience a sense of belonging and comfort. I even hugged people for the first time without wincing and feeling disgruntled from it.
Wow.
Oh, I just walked right up to him and I hugged him.
What an amazing message.
And so like with the mentorship group, the biggest thing that like we're seeing, and for me, I think about my dad, and I think about like who his 6 friends are, and that type of guy growing up, hometown, doesn't move, right? And so my dad's 6 closest friends are guys who live in his hometown and work the same place he does, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Who does he call during an existential thing? Like his resources are him. They're the same dudes working at the same job with the same life experiences, doing the same shit.
Right.
How fortunate I am of the people I get to call.
Yeah, that's true.
And talk about, I have fucking wizards on tap. I have a business wizard. I have fucking, do you know what I mean? Like I have different wizards I get to fucking talk to. And how much that resource has been able to help me be who I want to be and have the confidence for it. Other people don't have resources.
Yeah.
And so even opening the door on Sunday for people to show up and see that this exists, that it's real and it's not a phony show, that there are happy people doing fun things. The doors are open.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's so valuable, especially during these times with the pandemic, because we've all been so, inside, internal, whether it's lifting in your house now or working in your house, you forget that there are communities that want you to be a part of it. And I think it's really cool that you've offered that, especially right now, because people don't interact as much anymore. And being in the presence of other people is life-changing. Like Luke and I are in the middle of nowhere, and we'll go a really long time without talking to other people. Like we go to a gym where nobody goes, and it's usually just us, and we don't have a lot of friends there. And when you asked me to come out, I was like, I'm always happy to support whatever you're doing, but we also just need to go and be around people we like. We have to be individual people being social, and that changes your perspective. It makes you happier just to be around like-minded people. And you've created that for people.
Well, and along the lines of what you're saying, right? And like Bonnie can attest to it. And if you can look at my travel over the last however many years, a handful of years ago, like I realized getting to travel and go spend time with my friends, like Kelly Starrett being one. Like I knew that I needed to be around him quarterly, that it changes things for me. And so there's a part of you that gets weird because it's like, but they don't come visit. How is this fair? How is this fair? Blah, 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 blah. And like, I don't have fucking kids.
Yeah.
I don't have these other things that he's doing. And so for me, I was like, it's important to me. I need it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I need to be around quarterly. So I'm fucking going.
Yeah.
And that was
Taking the ego out of it. Yep.
right. And that's how it's been with being able to get around people. It's like, I'll go. Because they're never fucking going to find me.
Mm-hmm.
I have to go find it. Whatever that it is, your group of friends, your people, all of it. And we live in a weird time that I've got an incredible group of friends, but they're all a flight away.
Mm-hmm.
And I need an incredible group of friends.
Yeah,
that
it's
are here.
lonely.
Yeah.
And so it's cool that turning the lighthouse on for weirdos who want to get better at shit have started showing up.
Have you had like a very diverse group of people, or does it feel like 50-50 are powerlifters? And
Totally diverse.
that's awesome.
Totally diverse. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say there's maybe 1 or 2 people seriously-ish lifting. Like
Right.
it's never anything
cool.
crazy. Like
That makes it better.
and so many people come just to talk and just to hang out.
What would suck if it was like one really good lifter that like they're like, come watch me deadlift today.
No
and
one
you're like,
cares.
No, it's
not
never.
today.
No one gives a shit.
Never
That's the
anything like that.
favorite thing.
Yeah.
Because it's probably no ego. Everyone's just there to
Well,
have a good time.
I've said that before, right? Like the first thing I started doing, I did some seminars up in Good Life, at Good Life in Canada during 2019.
Oh, yeah.
That fucking, saved my life. Opportunity to go do that thing. And those were fucking hard because, so they're not fans. This was coaches working at Good Life, paying money to take a seminar that allows them to make more money, right? So different audience to walk into. Like they don't know Matt Vincent Highland Games.
Right. Okay.
I'm a guy just walking into the room to teach them.
You're proving yourself now.
Different fucking room,
Yeah.
right? And like, so
What was your opening line?
Fucking, I don't know. I just started rambling.
Pants down.
The problem is that group, pants down, bend over, getting in. It was really, really odd doing it. It was really intimidating. And then those goddamn stoic fuck Canadians just sit there the whole time. I'm 3 hours and it's like, I have no idea if this is going well.
Did I say
I have
anything
no
at all?
idea that this has gone well or not
Were
for
they
the
just
day.
giving you a casual one of these?
Just fucking dead stare. Dead stare, dude. And like no emotion, no laughter, no
Corner-
fucking nothing.
Not
And
even the
then,
corner
like,
of the mouth smirk.
the reviews were always good. And so I'm like, fuck, I just have to trust it the whole way through. Like there's no feedback that's positive the whole time. And wherever I was going with that, but like like doing those was so uncomfortable that I'm sharing this talk with people. And so having more people that just want to show up here and communicate with other people who have different ideas than the people they're around or
Right.
willing to talk about it. No one's talked about politics. Like no one has come in here trying to impress. Like you know,
No.
one of my friends is Hapthor. They don't make larger humans.
That's very true.
Do you know what I mean? You're not going to deadlift enough for me to think that's the reason I need to talk to you.
That's fair.
Yeah. That's how I feel sometimes when in bodybuilding circles. Because like people, do you know what I mean? I'm like, all right, cool.
That's
That
what I have
you're
to
right.
deal with.
I'm
as an
impressed by whatever
amateur.
you've done,
Yeah.
but whatever's inside of that
And then-
thing is not great.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, that's why I enjoy those expos because I just speak to people at, a deeper level rather than, oh, what show did you do? Oh, yeah, you look great, man. You look peeled. Like, I don't give a fuck. Because, like, I can go back to my brother's house and I
Right.
see
Fuck.
how many trophies he's
Yeah,
won.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the standard that I've seen. So it's just like what you were saying.
Right.
Deeper levels.
Yeah, so like,
authority.
who are you? Like,
Yeah.
okay, cool, you deadlifted a lot.
Cool,
Even-
you look
Nice.
shredded. You should be. We're in the bodybuilding world.
Yeah.
What's next? What else is
Yeah.
there?
Yeah, yeah. What else are you into? What are your hobbies?
Chicken and rice.
Chicken.
That's my whole personality.
no.
Did you find anything like in the last 2 years, like side interest that you're like, oh, that's a weird thing that I'm interested in, and then like explore it?
I mean, but you've been doing jiu-jitsu.
Oh yeah.
When did you start that?
I actually haven't done jujitsu in a long time because of prep.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
you're competing
Yeah.
in a thing, but when
But
you're not,
Before
Yeah.
that, you did it pretty regularly, right?
Yeah. Loved that. What else have I got back into reading again.
Oh, yeah.
ooh,
I try to do this thing where I ask myself, like, what would younger Maddy really like to do? Like, how can I connect with that person more and give her more opportunities to be herself? Because, you grow up in a traumatic environment or experience or whatever, and I feel like, I personally really lost that, like, kid version of me. And so I always read all the time, whether that was like a coping mechanism or not, but I loved to read. Like, I would have a list on the door of how many books I read in a summer, and it'd be like 60 or something. And
Fucking
That sounds just like Matt.
nerd.
fucking nerd.
Total nerd, dude.
That's what I
Oh,
say.
No.
fucking nerd.
But I gotten into reading again, and it's been nice. And I have to have, like, because I'm so into self-help stuff and like business stuff and strength stuff, I'm like, you can't just fucking do that. Like, you can have one of each of those, but you also have to have like an interest book, like a story
Yeah,
or something.
fucking fiction.
Like, just get
Yeah.
out of all that shit for a
Mhm.
little bit, maybe a couple times a week. And that's been really nice.
So are you like sitting down reading?
Yeah. Yeah. I
See,
know.
like,
It's hard.
I've switched into audiobooks and will fucking crush.
But I'll do it during cardio too. So like,
Same.
I'm like, okay.
Oh, so you're reading an actual book,
Yeah.
Book or a Kindle,
like a cave
yeah.
person
Yes.
doing cardio
Oh,
equipment.
paper.
Yeah.
I'd be sweaty, just ruined. Terrible fucking book with a bunch of pages stuck together.
I got a
Oh,
Kindle,
no.
but it's so much nicer to like read a book and like slap it down on the
Yeah.
table and be like, yeah, fucking
It's like
finish
having
that.
it's
I
like
love
when you
having
had
a
flip
physical
phone.
book.
Yeah.
When you had a flip phone, and you just slam it shut like that.
Done.
I hate the verb of reading. I'm shitty at it. Like the sitting there and hold a thing and fucking do this whole bit.
Well, that's not how
Nah.
you read. Tell them how you read.
I didn't realize this until relatively recently of what a fucking disaster my brain is. And it's the way I read and I've now noticed it. And it's like, I'll read the first sentence and be like, got it. And then run to the bottom of the paragraph and read that sentence and be like, don't got it. And then I go
Go
back
to the middle.
and realize, got it, don't got it. And now I've read the paragraph. Whereas
How long does that take?
it's a fucking disaster.
That's
Luke,
probably
because
what
I'm
you-
also half reading all of those sentences because I'm just trying to get through this thing because
So
I
you've
hate
Summarize
the
the first
verb of
sentence.
doing this fucking thing I'm doing. What I just want is the information.
Oh, no.
I do not want to do this thing. And so
Just trying to cheat
audiobook.
it.
Yeah, I want the information. I'm curious. I'm fucking not interested in staring at. I need to be doing other shit too. Like, let me be on the treadmill, get in the sauna, somewhere like that. Yeah, I can take in information at a great pace, but I can't do it this way.
What about like making notes and things? When you do an audiobook, do you make notes?
Tons.
You do?
They may or not be ever to be legible or worth reading again. I definitely have different notes that I'm taking because like thoughts need out
Yeah.
Yeah.
or I need to get this done.
Hmm.
Like I treat both those differently. Like sometimes if I journal and I'm just writing, I don't care if it's ever legible. I'm not sharing it with anyone.
Yeah, you're just putting it
Yeah,
on
that- yeah.
paper.
Yeah, I just need it out of me.
Hmm.
That's fair enough.
You've picked up a hobby.
What is it?
Pooping.
Oh, I have darts.
Sorry. Darts.
Yeah.
Oh, you're such a fucking UK boy.
I am.
Just hanging
Ned.
at the pub slinging darts.
Ned, we were watching darts when we went back for Christmas, and I don't know. Have you watched darts?
I'm aware of it.
I mean,
It's
It's a
insane.
big fucking deal.
yeah,
like-
it's
Okay.
more popular than the sport I got good at.
It's-
yeah.
yeah.
They
There's
make a
like
ton of money.
thousands and thousands of people sitting there.
Yeah, because
It's
everyone
main-
has thrown darts. I
it's
get why people
mainly
like it.
a drinking
You're good
thing.
at it.
Sure,
Well,
sure.
there's
Everyone's
difference.
sitting on long tables drunk, and I can guarantee about 70% of the people there are not really watching until a guy fucking shouts out 180, which is like the max score, and
Yeah.
then everyone just goes, "Ugh,"
Oh,
and
no,
gets
they
to their
just wake
feet,
up.
and they just wake up and start cheering. But everyone's like I call it fancy dress. What do you call it?
Costume.
Costumes.
Okay.
It's a costume party. Dress up whatever they want.
Wait, is it costumes like as in cosplay? Like are we
No, no,
dressed
no.
as an animal?
Like I'm dressed as a carrot. Like
Yeah,
Like a
like
Halloween-
people are just
Yeah.
Okay,
ran-
so
like
it's
a
let's
Halloween.
make a deal.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
a huge Halloween party. and
Okay.
People are playing darts.
Yeah.
So the audience is dressed, not
Yes,
the
yes,
athletes.
sorry,
and they're
not
drinking.
the players.
It sounds like a great time.
It's yeah, I
it's
would
not a
love
bad
to
time
go
at all.
watch.
Yeah, so far I'm totally in.
And
Grab my carrot costume.
the world champion, well, actually he lost this year, but
It happens.
world champion is Welsh, and I used to play rugby against him actually.
Come
Oh,
on.
Yeah.
okay.
This
Okay.
Yeah.
could have been you. Is he also red?
No.
Oh.
But he was like one of the best players I played against, and then disappeared for a while.
Got good at
Next thing,
darts.
he's fucking playing darts. And I was like,
Next thing.
what is going
overnight.
on? I was like, what's
Okay.
happening here?
Do you now feel like at some point when you knew him, like if you just would have followed,
Yeah.
you think you could outdart him?
Oh, dart him.
I don't know what it's called. Like, are you a
Out-
darter?
I
Outthrow.
don't know.
Is it a thrower?
Probably. They're a darts player, but they throw.
Yeah.
I
throw it,
follow
yeah.
the hashtag thrower.
Maybe darts
Makes
will
sense,
come
right?
up.
Yo-yo.
No way.
I get a
Yo-yo
lot of
throwers.
yo-yo content that comes up. That's fucking.
That's pretty
Hashtag
cool.
thrower.
It's apparently.
way.
They're very passionate about it. It's incredible.
And wildly talented. Remember?
Yeah.
We watched that show
We
on
did
Netflix.
watch a documentary about it.
Yeah. So do you have a dartboard now
I
in the
bought
house?
I bought the professional one.
So you have a garage gym.
Yeah,
I
basically.
got it. You have a fucking dojo.
Yeah.
I'm
In
with it.
in the basement,
dojo.
nice dartboard, measured it and everything, the right height, the right distance. Got some nice darts.
Do you have you started trying to get good at it? Like, do you get a smaller board? Like, what are the training methodologies to improve?
I'm not the person to
Not
be
yet.
asking.
Banded tension.
I'm literally just throwing them and just fucking picking them up and walk. It's
The
literally
tiniest bands you've ever seen.
throw 3,
They're like
pick them out of the board,
braces
walk
bands.
back, just do it again. I'm down there for hours.
Sitting there just sports
Hours.
specific,
Nah, a couple
watching video of it.
He'll be down there for like an hour.
I,
so.
haven't-
Okay.
I need to start watching videos of technique because I
Yeah.
feel like my hand-eye coordination is good
Superior
because
is the
because
word,
of the position I played in rugby. So I threw in the line out as well. So if the ball went out of bounds, as you call it, in touch we say, I was the guy who would throw it back to in play. So I've always liked that hand-eye
The
coordination.
whole
throw.
double overhand. That
Yeah,
bit,
literally ball in hand, overhead throw.
How accurate are you
Okay.
with that?
Good.
No. Like, I need real fucking, like, I don't want cockiness, ego. Like, if you're at 30 meters, was that 100 feet?
I have a video.
Give
somewhere.
me a distance. Like, what is something that you like? Yeah, I can hit the goalpost.
Oh,
100%.
so like the crossbar.
Yeah,
What was that distance I threw it from the other day?
like you can just
It
walk
was-
out there cold and like I'll hit it.
Like 30 meters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like stand, set up, throw at the crossbar.
No warm up any day of the week.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, that's so sick. I love stupid shit like that because
I
it's
know.
way hard.
Because it's when you think about it, take away the sport. I'm just throwing a ball at a fucking post, and that's all I did my entire childhood. I'd go out my backyard, just throw at the lamp like our washing line post, and just throw and throw and throw. So much so that we went home Christmas time, and I used to put tape around there to show like the height of where I need to throw it at, so how high the player would be lifted in the air. That's where I need to throw it to. And the fuck, we went home for Christmas, and the fucking post has snapped in half, but it's snapped exactly where
Oh,
I
you
hit
just
it.
drilled it?
Yeah.
It's snapped in half, and like I walked up the garden. I was like, "Oh fuck, what happened?" Yeah, my father's like, "Well, the thing is, see, I think it rusted over time. It snapped, and like right at the top of where what's left of the post is my fucking tape."
Oh, no.
And I was like,
That's
"I don't
great.
think I had anything to do with this." Like,
Certainly wasn't me.
Coincidence.
yeah,
That's great.
but
That's fucking
weird
great.
crap like that, I actually enjoy.
Well, of course.
But darts it's like
you could have an
weirdly
incredible future
therapeutic.
at darts.
Yeah.
Well, something like
I-
that
I-
gets really
I'm
fun.
not bad considering I just started throwing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say
If
go
a
for it.
competition
Yeah.
popped up, if they're like darts for amateurs.
Oh, I definitely enter it.
You should definitely do
Yeah.
that. Why not?
And they
How
wear
long before you start building out a little pub to go next to
Oh,
your
there
dart
we go.
lane? Because, like, needs to be more official, feel right, like a competition
Yeah.
environment.
exactly.
You start
Get 'em-
making
get a
Maddie wear
nice-
costumes.
get
She's
a
just
nice-
gonna
Yeah,
watch
she's
you.
just yelling.
In the
nice little button
basement.
down.
Yeah.
They like have their own shirts as well.
Except
course.
for
Their
she
nickname
just
on the
sits
back.
around like playing on her phone, and you're like 180, and she's like, and she just chimes
I'm
in.
really supporting you.
This is just what I'm getting is UK sports as a whole are sports that you don't have to pay much attention to. Cricket,
Yeah.
rugby, soccer, and then
I
at some
can't- you
point
can't
it's
throw-
very obvious
Can't
someone
throw rugby.
scored,
Yeah, okay.
and then everyone's like, hey. Darts.
Oh,
darts is one.
Nah, rugby's high energy.
Snooker.
Snooker. Fucking snooker.
I don't think I know what that is.
Snooker. Do you know what pool is?
Mhm.
It's like that, but a very large table.
Yeah.
Oh,
And you have, I don't even know how many, maybe
I
like
don't know
11,
either,
11 like
but-
red balls. And then you have different color balls on the table that are worth different points.
okay.
So you have a yellow, green, brown, blue, pink, black. And you have to go pot a red, and then you have to pot any one of those other random multicolored balls. So like the goal is pot a red, try and pot a black. Then pot a red, pot a black. That's how you score like the highest score.
Okay.
But it's like a long game.
You're still using like a pool cue?
Yeah, queue and
Okay.
everything.
Yeah.
It's fucking hard.
Do you
Interesting.
think because like you guys were around for so long prior to modern day that your sports involved a longer time to kill? They're like, we just need something to do for the next 8 hours or 5 days. Whereas
probably.
How do
since
you?
we've only been around like 200 years, things are just faster paced.
Yeah.
But how do you explain the cheese wheeling run then?
Oh, that's a good one.
Because that one's over
We were talking
real
about that
quick.
yesterday, weren't we?
were.
I had,
It's incredible.
I had my haircut. No, was it? Oh, 2 days ago. I had my haircut, and I always go in there and start talking about random British things to the barbers, and they love it.
As usual.
Of course they do.
Any
Of
place
course
you go
they
to.
do.
And they
And you
love
just
it.
eat it up.
And
Yeah.
they always, the guy that always cuts my hair, he always
Of course,
says,
she's not impressed by this accent anymore. You get out of the house, it's
she-
time to show
I
that you're
know.
around.
People
I get it.
lose their minds. Yeah.
strutting it out,
Yeah.
throwing all weird words out. And he finds it hilarious that I don't like when he says, "Oh, you're English" or "You're British." Technically, I am British, but it's something inside me that I can't stand that. Same like any Scottish guys at Highland Games, they'll say the same thing because
Fucking English.
it's just like an English thing.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
like
yeah.
all the English people are listening or whatever, fucking call me sheepshagger if you want. It's fine. I don't care. But
Worried about those kid touchers anyway.
Ah,
They had a Michael Jackson statue. Fuck kid touchers across the board.
Oof.
But yeah, he said to me, "Oh, are you excited to see the Winter Olympics and and Wales compete in the Winter Olympics?" I said, "Don't fucking start, mate." And he's like, "What do you mean? Doesn't Wales compete?" I was like, "Yeah, but we have to compete for Great Britain." And he's like, "Yeah, but that's okay, isn't it?" I'm like, well, so, yeah, I suppose it's all right. Like, but if we win, we have to fly the fucking Union Jack, and there's nothing on that flag that represents Wales. If you look at the flag, it has the English flag, Scottish flag on top, Northern Ireland flag, and there's like nothing. Like, we got a dragon on our fucking flag.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you put a dragon on there?
Be sick if you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't
So I'm like, and they love.
Have you
They
thought
love
about
that stuff.
sending in an idea maybe to the Queen about possible new flag ideas of where
Me
it
and
was
her don't
going?
get
Right out.
on. We don't get on.
Would you
She doesn't
have
text
it,
me
like,
back anymore.
sneaking out from behind one of the bars? Like, ah.
Wait, we're talking about the,
The
cheese
cheese
wheel.
wheel.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry.
I got totally sidetracked.
happens.
I just, my Welsh blood was boiling. But he's like, "Oh, have you heard of the cheese race?" And I just like burst out laughing, like, "Yeah, 100%." So me and the guy that cuts my hair, we were laughing about it, talking about it. And the barber in the chair over was like, he thought we were messing around. He thought we were taking the piss out of him. And we were like, "No, honest, here it is." His face, seeing it, and like for me, it's normal. But like you said, we have such fucking stupid sports.
Have you seen it in person?
No, I wish I had.
That seems like a trip.
Literally, fucking
I would-
Nothing is
Where do
better
they-
than
where do
fucking
they host
smoking and turning that on.
Gloucester.
Yeah.
Gloucester in England.
Okay.
And they just roll that fucking cheese downhill.
You know, and people get
Get
their shit
fucked.
ruined.
People are
up.
fucking leaving in hospital,
No,
in ambulances.
So I watched some long documentary about it.
On the
And-
cheese
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
No
And so,
way.
like,
Yeah,
this-
the girl that's
Yeah.
won like 3 years in a row.
She won like 4 or 5 in a row, right?
Of,
and then
of the women.
and then like then
This
got
was-
injured, and so like the story is talking about her like, and she's like, "Well, I would normally just get really loaded and sprint down the hills as fast as I could, and ever since I was a kid, I was just jumping out of trees and off roofs and stuff like that, and pretty much figured I'm indestructible, and so just treats herself that way."
And
Just
ain't no one doing this
fucking-
thing sober.
And she was
Why
like,
would you?
"Yeah, it's going to be a lot different now knowing, well, that I'm sober and that I'm not indestructible."
Oh, no.
But she still fucking won.
Yeah, she
Incredible.
Damn.
It's a great little
It's
documentary.
berserk.
Incredible. It's just like keep your feet fucking running no matter what, and hopefully the ground shows back
Well,
up.
like, there has to be so much percentage of luck as well. Because you could be fucking nailing it. Like,
Except this
technique's
girl
perfect. And then
It's
somebody
5
just...
for 5. Like fucking luck's out the
Yeah, how?
window.
She's
I don't
got
know
the
how.
Yeah.
technique.
Or you
'Cause
end up with a broken
what if
wrist,
you're, like,
collarbone, ankle.
running perfectly and some fucking bloke from behind you who's like tumbling,
You're not wrong.
Jesus.
somersaulting takes you out. You're like, fuck.
I fucking
Trained all year
laughed-
for this.
I fucking could just watch it forever. I laughed so fucking hard. I can't
There's
breathe.
nothing that makes her die more than other people.
have
get
to
their
watch it
shit
tonight.
ruined.
Oh,
Tonight.
it's so good.
It's incredible.
Very
Yeah,
entertaining.
that's one of those wild sports. Of like,
Yeah.
also, the thing I did for a living is just as fucking dumb.
Mm.
Highland Games thing is super silly.
Just spinning around.
Can't
All-
believe it. Can't
mate,
believe it pivots.
Just
Let's
into
be honest.
spin
this.
around.
All sports are weird.
Yeah, for sure. I get really confused why. I've always been an athlete fan,
Yeah.
and I've never been like a sports fan. Like I've never had a
Mm.
team, or even when I was in school at LSU, like my team was the LSU track team. I don't give a fuck how the football team does.
Yeah.
I don't know any of these guys. Like, they're not my buddies. When my brother played football, I wasn't an A&M fan. I was a fan of my brother. He happened to play for them.
Yeah.
And so, like, as that just kind of continued, I realized, like, I don't give a fuck about sports. I like athletes. I will watch athletes do anything. But, I'm not a fan of a game. Like, football, I'm not a fan of the sport of it.
Mm-hmm.
I like watching people do crazy shit with their bodies.
Yeah, that's true.
So you wouldn't watch a game or anything?
I mean, I will. I'm not bummed out watching it, but I'm as indifferent as fucking possible to who wins.
So you're not like watching and like studying what's going on and be like, oh, fuck, you should have done that.
It's not a thing he will ever turn on.
No.
I found myself like getting dragged into like studying NFL defense.
Come on.
Honestly, babe, how long did I take? We watched the playoff semi-final, Rams against 49ers, and there was one play, and the guy that scored the touchdown, it was great skill, awesome agility, like phenomenal speed, but I just couldn't fucking allow myself to not like look at the defense and just be appalled.
Just be appalled!
Because I was like, from a rugby standpoint,
Oh my
like
God.
we get taught how to tackle so differently to football players. And now I'm finding myself now again really dragged into it and studying how they tackle, and it gets me really fucking annoyed.
Wow.
So much so we were doing cardio, and I said to her, like, obviously, you know when you like like if you showed Barney something, you're like into it, and she's like, yeah, that's cool, babe, and not as into it as you are. I was like,
yeah, it's most of the time, Luke, is what that is.
I showed her, I was like, look at the fucking tackle in you, and she's like, yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah, right.
I'm
No,
mad. I'm
no,
mad.
first of all, it was like this like stare at me, waiting for me to say if it was fucking good or bad.
I would have
And I was
done the
like,
same.
Give me a
It's
cue.
bad.
That guy.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I was terrible. And she was like, yeah, actually, you know what, yeah. And then we were side by side on the treadmill doing cardio. I didn't realize that I did the 30 minutes because I spent the whole time. I did a fucking screen recording of the Instagram video, and I put it onto iMovie, and I slowed it down just so I could like watch it, play to see where like somebody if it was a rugby game, where they would have gone for on his body.
Marking the video up.
And I haven't fucking done anything with it, so I'm like, what's wrong with me? Like,
No, the reason you did it was because you put your opinion up on your Instagram story about how like the defense
Yeah,
was
and then I
shitty, and you were like,
Trying to
well,
prove your
just in
point.
case somebody messages me and they want to say that I'm wrong, I made this
you
video.
fucking go. But the thing
I was
was,
like,
I put
wow.
that video up, and then I had a post that I'd made in the past of like rugby tackling, and I shared that as well. I was like, this is what it should look like.
Wow.
Incredible.
Wow.
What I really wanted was some NFL fucking coach to be like, oh, you think you can fucking, you think you can do it better? I'm like, yeah, fucking sign me up.
Yeah,
well,
fuck you.
I'll
Hire
co-
me.
I'll,
Hire
I'll
me.
coach the boys to fucking tackle.
So
Tell
like,
us about your rugby business right now.
Yeah.
What's going on with it?
Oh, it's going well. Initially, it was tough because obviously we were going through the green card process, and I felt like my entire life and if like my purpose and my in many respects my identity, I had to like stop to wait for this green card. Obviously, when you go through the process, you're supposed to get a work visa so you can legally work and make money. Unfortunately, mine didn't come until after the green card meeting, which was a fucking nightmare. So
Because it's a roll of the dice of like when you'll get it, and COVID slowed things down.
Right, and
Normally,
then-
you're supposed to get it like a month later. When
yeah, so that you can actually like make a living while you wait.
It's
Yeah.
14 months
Yeah.
later.
Yeah, so that way, in case, because it's just too much of a risk to work and get caught.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like I could have easily just gone, fuck it, I'll just run the business online and do everything normal, like the way I want to do it.
They won't give a shit. But if
and then
If you
yeah,
did.
and like you know, in hindsight,
and
looking
then now
back,
you're living in Wales.
yeah, in
Yeah.
hindsight,
Take
looking
care of
back, we
sheep.
could have easily done it, but then. I don't know. It was just like something I was not. It was like one of those times
wanna
where
do
it's
it
like
right.
this is
if you're
not
not
worth the risk.
comfortable,
Not worth it.
if you're not comfortable with the risk, you don't get to complain about it. If you get fucking busted, man,
Yeah,
you're aware going into it.
It's
And
not
so
like
that's-
one of
You
those-
made the smart move.
yeah. So
That's a smart move.
yeah, I think we did the right thing.
Because
So
10 years down the road, does that fucking whatever period of time doesn't matter.
yeah,
You having a fucking green card and getting to live in this country is a bit more
Yeah,
important.
than just like that 1 year of like some
You'll
point
never
of
look
age.
back on that. Like all that year was getting you the ability to now do what Luke wants to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like getting out of that mode of sitting and waiting and like feeling sorry for yourself, even though it's like easy just to put it into a sentence. It was a really tough time, wasn't it? Like I really did struggle a lot. And I'm slowly putting things into place what I always wanted to do. So the online business is doing well. I'm in the process of making a website and everything like that. And like we were talking about earlier, I need to get better at being more active on my social media, like actually talking rather than just posting coaching content. I need like people invest in people. So I want to post more about myself and actually talk. So I feel like that'll be better at giving.
Yeah, do you know how much better you sound than all of us?
I feel like I sound like an idiot. So
No, if I'm coming to any of us for
Oh my
advice,
God.
it's the guy that sounds like that.
100%. The fact that you speak like this and are now engaging with an American audience, Americans aren't super smart. We essentially, that's why all of our documentaries have a guy from England talking, because we believe it's higher intelligence than one of us.
They're never Welsh.
It doesn't matter. We don't, as far as we're concerned, you're the
Same
queen.
No,
You don't understand
Well-
who you're talking to.
Don't say that.
You don't understand. It's a group of
Take
people
out the
without
part
passports.
about being slightly offended.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
group of people without this group should be offended that they don't understand the difference that you're in a country, that Wales is its own thing.
Yeah,
The people here should be offended for not knowing it,
fair enough.
right?
It's a fair point.
However,
Oh,
because they think you sound like Dumbledore, they'll listen.
use it to your advantage.
You're basically singing to song. I have to sing to stand out when I speak it, right? So like you're already something that's like, what?
It depends who's speaking though, I think. Do you know what I mean? Or who's listening. Like I feel like your accent really stands out to me.
I need to get over to Wales.
Yeah.
I can fucking blow this place
Very
apart.
popular.
They're not having me doing any science documentaries. I can
No.
fucking tell you that. This isn't the voice that they're hiring for their smart TV.
Your voice in the cheese wheel event.
Yes,
Your
that's
voice in darts.
100%.
That would be awesome.
Just overdubbing Benny Hill videos.
Oh man! If you were emceeing the cheese event,
That would be hilarious.
I might
That's a
never,
fucking
I
high
might
point in
never
life.
breathe again. I
That's
would
a
piss
that's
myself.
a high moment in life. Let's just add that to the vision board. I don't know whose dick I got to suck to get this thing
That would be-
pulled
We'll
off.
figure it
but
out.
Worth it.
It's fine.
Imagine putting that on the resume.
Woo, gotta get here.
Whose dick do I have to suck?
End of the day, it's not that big a deal. Like half the population does it by choice.
Just a
But
dick.
100% you can use that to your advantage.
Yeah.
100%. People
Yeah.
will
No,
Dude,
listen.
your fucking voice
if you
is
just
killer.
simply say, "Listen, you have to listen to me. I'm smarter than you."
Fair.
In your accent, people will believe you.
There you go.
So you guys started a podcast, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm on it, and Luke kind of comes on pretty often.
Yeah.
But I haven't done it in a while. I really enjoy doing it. I think it's really fun and a great way to connect with people. And I like to talk, and you can just fucking listen if you want. Like,
Yeah.
it's what a podcast is. And it's been really awesome. I actually was interviewing one of my coaches. His name is Luke, and I was like, and one of the interview questions was, how important is it for you to consume content to further your education, and who are your inspirations there? Do you listen to podcasts daily? Do you do a lot of research? And he was like, actually, I do listen to this one podcast called FIO, and I was like,
No, he said it like deadpan face.
me?
Oh, he wasn't like trying to be making a joke.
He was joking.
He
Oh,
wa-
but I was
he
like, hang on,
was.
come on.
Yeah, and I was like, that was very
Like,
good. You're
what
hired.
What you're on right now, sir? Dude, that's dope.
Yeah, but it is fun. I want to get back to it. When
Yeah, you're good at it.
it was a lot of fun, and it started to pick up. But then I got into prep, and I had like no brain cells to
But
talk.
I think this could be a good outlet for the two of you, really, right? Like this is something that you need to get more comfortable talking,
Yeah.
and at least that way, it's just an hour of conversation with the two of you each week, even checking in, right?
Right.
Because your audience is into mental health and all this, right? Like I can see how this works beneficially for both of you. People will automatically listen because your voice is in it. Facts.
True. That's all the marketing. Luke's
Fucking
talking.
But her voice
I don't
as
know
well,
how
isn't
to
it?
use your voice in a picture.
But once we can figure it out,
NFTs.
It's the
you're
leprechaun.
hired. Yeah.
It's
I
a
do. It's just the
leprechaun.
Fighting Irish logo. It just says Notre Dame. That's it. But no, but seriously, like I think that figuring it out, right? Like that's still dead on brand. Talk about catching up for the week. Talk about like, yo, my energy levels are out because, you know, just you two guys catching up and whoever's listening, right? But
Yeah.
at least that way, even at that point, one of the cool things I really love about this whole thing is this is away from me. And like, you're so into the conversation
Yeah.
because of the way it's set up with the headphones. Like Bart and Gio do that where they just like, they hang out for like an hour
That's awesome.
and share it with people. And people love it.
I think that's really great.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Because, I mean, the talking thing, dude, just like any of the sports stuff, it's repetition.
Yeah, I went through a couple of phases then where I spoke for a day or two on my story, and then I thought, oh, actually, that wasn't that bad. But it's just like telling myself each time when I have an idea in my head, or I'm thinking, oh, I should say this now, and that, like you said about when you're doing the cardio and when that voice comes in your head, like I get that for when I'm thinking about posting something of me talking and the person saying like, fucking, you don't know what you're talking about, or
Fuck them.
no one wants to say that. No one wants to listen to this.
Fuck them.
And yeah, that's what I need to get better at saying. Like, oh fuck, I fucking know what I've done all of my my schooling. I know what I'm doing. I've got experience. Like, there's people out there that are talking out of their ass, and like everyone's listening to them.
Yeah, dumber people
Like
than you,
I
baby.
have the credentials to do this. I
Yeah.
just need to back myself and tell myself,
What's up, imposter syndrome?
yeah, fucking
Right, dude.
take a back seat and
Like, dude,
let
no
me.
one's going to back your dream more than you.
Yeah,
That's a really tricky thing.
yeah,
So, like, if you don't believe in it, like, no one's going to.
yeah, true.
I mean, dude, it shows up all the time, and it shows up for everyone. Like, everything involved with this project with Indian coming up. Yeah, I'm so out of my fucking depth and uncomfortable, and I don't understand why I'm being given the opportunity to do something like this, that there's such a big part of me that is just like, don't make any fucking noise so they don't see you over here and they don't fucking take it. But at the end of the day, like, yo, you got the shot,
Yeah.
right? And so whether I take that risk or I fucking get timid and I worry about it, the clock's still running.
Yeah,
And so there's not a risk to trying it. At least trying it and realizing it doesn't work removes that now as an option. And you've limited down the narrow of the scope of focus of what works. Be like, okay, the talking thing isn't it. Sick. We don't have to worry about that right now.
yeah,
And like, being able to talk is a killer skill. And being able to talk in this format or anything, the amount of repetition I have at it, like, it's one of those things. It's like, oh, it comes natural. I'm a bit more extrovert, period. But I also have 10 years of doing an outside sales job that I cold call customers who I know are going to hang up on me. Like, you know it all day. You just can't give a shit.
that's true.
And so, like, the amount of repetition I've got into talking to people, it's unreal. The amount of, and then like at trade shows, I did that before I ever did Arnold stuff. And so I've taken tons of people to lunch and had conversations that I don't want to be part of. So now the fact that all my conversations are ones that I like, I can do this really well, but it's taken a long time to get good at it.
Yeah.
And so if it's something you want to be good at, just start today,
Yeah,
because I can't go backwards, right? Like, best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The next best time is right fucking now.
yeah,
Yeah.
And so if it's something that future Luke has to be good at, we may as well get started.
yeah, exactly.
You're good when you get going. It's just
Yeah,
like
I
having the
enjoy
courage
it.
to start, you know.
Like when I'm doing it, I enjoy it
Mhm.
and get into it, and I don't feel like it's like awkward.
Right.
I just have to be like you said, like tell the person to shut the fuck up and just get on with it.
Well,
Do
and
it.
it's also, look, it's another thing to talk in this way, like having conversations. It's another one to fucking talk to you.
Yeah, that's the thing that fucking puts me off. I'm like, I just like looking at myself, and I'm like, you look fucking dumb, like.
Yeah, I vlogged for 10 years to an audience that never really grew.
I'm looking at myself like, you look like a fucking idiot. Look at you.
You know how long I traveled around talking to a fucking camera at the end of a stick in front of fucking strangers? It's reps. You just have to go, it doesn't fucking matter that you look stupid. Fuck
True.
'em.
True.
But what percentage of people are actually going to think you look stupid?
Yeah.
Very, very, very little.
Not people
Because
creating anything.
those people aren't thinking about how
Right.
you look.
Yeah.
Well,
Like-
it's not the worst thing ever if somebody were to be like, "Hey, you look fucking stupid." Like, okay,
Yeah.
great.
Thanks.
I thought so too in a
Yeah.
moment, but
yeah,
whatever.
me too, man.
But also, there's always going to be that person. The other day,
Yeah.
someone told me I had square tits. So here we are. You know,
That's
like
very funny.
What a
you know.
strange comment.
Yeah. It's a good one, though.
they're,
It's
you
proud
know,
to stand
that's,
out.
That's
Creative.
Yeah. But that's just the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, there's
It's
always
more
going to be those
mid-century
people.
modern anyway.
Right. Well, and if you're scared of looking, if you're scared of looking stupid, and somebody tells you that you look stupid, it doesn't really change anything at all. You know, it's just like if somebody were to insult you in any other way, okay, it depends on how much weight I give that comment, and if it's just some fucking random person.
Growing up with ginger hair as well, I feel like I've fucking.
I figured you'd just be used to
I've
this
gone
point. Who
through.
gives a
I've
shit?
gone
Yeah.
through every fucking
Yeah.
thing that somebody could say to me now.
But I assume also that I would be the one that would stand out in Wales. Do not everyone in Wales have red hair?
No.
Come on, what percentage?
No, not,
60.
no. I think Irish people.
More than half.
There's more Irish people. I think have more red hair. Welsh
It's basically
Welsh
blended.
people not so much. Yeah, well, like same kind of thing.
You're somewhere between.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Irish, Scottish, Welsh people. We're all good. English.
We're
people,
all good.
fuck, I don't
Yeah,
know.
keep an eye on them.
Yeah.
What have your thoughts been about Wales? Because you've been there twice now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
How you dig it?
It's very cool, and the people are very friendly, friendlier than here. Like if you're walking down the street, they'll like,
Oh, I love it.
try and talk to you or something. Like we went to like a lighthouse,
Yeah, you love it.
and
Yeah, because well, she'll tell the story, you know, but
right.
like
yeah,
we walk, you know,
and they
it
say
happened, and I was just like,
All right, sorry.
they say boy a lot.
Okay.
Like instead, like here you can't really like call a grown man a boy. Like men here would not like that.
Sure.
But we were like walking to this lighthouse, and some guy was walking by, and he goes, "It's gonna rain now, boy."
this
And it
old
was like,
old
"Oh,
guy was
thanks."
just like, "Hey, you gonna rain now, boy, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, top man." And he was like, "All the best." And Maddie's like, "Do you know that person?" I'm like, no, never seen him in my life.
But your uncle? I haven't
Yeah.
met yet. That's
They're
great.
Very friendly people. They just want to like have a good conversation with you. They don't care what anybody thinks. Like I feel like you guys are more free about stuff. Like you don't take things as personally.
Yeah,
Like
that's
you can
true.
tell somebody that they're being a fucking stupid cunt. And
Yeah,
That's
And
just
you'd be like,
a
"Ah,
not
ah, ah,
American
ah."
thing.
Well,
Yeah.
they're still accustomed, I'm sure, especially like friends in Scotland, that I don't have a problem tuning you up.
Mhm.
That if you're out of line, I'll fucking punch you in the mouth.
Yeah.
And you understand I stepped out of line.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the deal.
But
Yeah.
think about the Icelanders, even the way that they were talking about each other at like the competition. They're like, he will not get very far because he's the smallest man.
Just facts.
Like, and no one's offended.
Very, very
Right.
blunt.
Yeah, no one's offended.
It's a
They're just
truck
like,
pull.
okay, that's what it is. But like, I think it's just a bit of us getting more easily offended over here.
Yeah, I think that's very true. You guys like make fun of each other so much, and it's just
Yeah.
all in good fun. Like nobody really gets upset about it.
I don't know whether it's because over in America, there's so much opportunity for everyone, even at such a young age, and everyone's told like you can do whatever you want. So everyone gets like quite offended when that's challenged. But like we just don't care. Like we're just like, you're a fucking asshole, you know that. You know? And they're like, yeah, I know, man, whatever. Whereas if I said that to somebody over here, you're a fucking asshole, you know that. When it's like half, I'm half being real,
Yeah.
but also I'm just
Yeah,
joking.
it's busting
but like
balls.
somebody's just like, oh, well,
Could be a fucking fight.
yeah,
Yeah.
that would be it then.
Right. Yeah, and I wonder that, say, like with Canadians, because hockey still being their primary sport, are they more likely tolerant to like have a fucking punch them up
I fucking,
and then move on with their life because it's more part of their
Maybe.
culture?
Yeah.
It would
loved
stand up
hockey.
for the Canadians
love hockey.
that I'm friends with.
It was
those
awesome.
guys are quick to fucking hit you in the mouth if you're rude.
Yeah, why wouldn't they be? That's
They're
what they
polite,
do.
but they're not pussies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Big
the best way of
difference.
putting it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So for a few months I was assisting the strength and conditioning in Penn State for the ice hockey.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it. It was awesome.
That sport you could get into?
Oh, yeah, 100%. It was like,
like fucking
rugby on ice.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
it's just
Rugby
like
with
the,
9 feet. It's fucking great.
but it was just like the way they were. Like I felt like when they were in the gym, the way they talked to each other was exactly how I would talk to my mates.
Felt familiar.
But, yeah.
Just
That's
Letterkenny shit talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like the things that they were saying, what were some of the sayings that like in Letterkenny that we used to laugh at? And they were literally saying it. And I was like, this is fucking awesome.
It's fucking awesome.
Every line. Yeah.
Everything.
Oh man. So Wales is a hit.
Wales is great.
Country's pretty as well.
It's very pretty. The like fast food options, very different. Like the Starbucks
not many.
here versus the Starbucks there. They've got like 3 things. If you order an iced
bad.
coffee,
It's so
you're
bad.
a fucking idiot.
You're fucking
And
retard.
like there's like
like-
not as much customization. Like our Starbucks here, you could look at the menu and there's probably 50 things. There it is literally like 5 things.
Yeah.
The McDonald's same thing. Like it's a very limited menu. They don't want a lot of choices. Like they also don't have hot sauce.
Yeah,
like,
of course they
But
do.
The
bland-
last time we
bland.
went to
The South is very different.
a very
Yeah.
bland palate.
very bland. You have to like salt things, add spices to things because
Pepper.
it's very.
No pepper.
Oh,
We
they
like our chicken boiled.
they also like
I didn't think
Sweet
it was known
meat.
for.
Yeah, sweet. Like,
Okay.
Like-
more sweeter things. and
not a lot of
salty.
savory things. Like even things that we would say are savory here, like barbecue
Yeah.
sauce or something. It would be barbecue, but it'd be sweet. It'd be like
Okay,
very
like
very
very sweet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you
Okay.
sweet shops and all that?
Sweet shop.
Yeah.
I love a sweet shop.
Little candy shops, man.
Yeah.
What about like so do you guys do much curry or any of that?
Oh yeah, we do. Oh, you.
So
we
that's
had one
that's
too,
my
right?
favorite being in
curry
the UK.
is so good there.
I need to.
so
we,
good.
fuck, we need to go to Scotland.
The
Scotland would be so
the
fun.
curry in the UK is awesome.
Same. Yeah, it's one of my favorites. Like, I
2023.
love getting over there because there's not like Asian takeout, like Chinese takeout. Like you see curry shops
Yeah,
is the
yeah.
equivalent.
Oh, in
of, like,
Iceland,
what we
it's all
have.
the kebabs.
Yeah,
all the
kebabs
Indian
are Iceland.
Kebabs
Oh, is it?
everywhere. Mm-hmm.
It's fucking great.
Fish and chips.
Meat
you
on a
enjoy
stick and
doing.
Fish
rice.
and
Why
chips.
am I not into this food?
Yeah.
That was like, you know, over here you have a night out, like out drinking, and then what would you normally have after you drink?
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell. That's
Really
so like
shit.
that's
food.
what we would have though.
Yeah, or
is-
like
is
shitty
the,
frozen pizza.
The kebab shop.
Yeah, you go kebabs and fish and chips.
Yeah.
They're just so much cooler.
Class.
Yeah.
And you go
I'm
there,
not
there's like
in
some
it-
Turkish guy cutting it, and he's like, you're like, oh, can I have some of that sour cream sauce or something? And he's like, the one in my hometown, they'd always like grab the ladle for the curry, the chili sauce. He got chili sauce. I'm like, mate, please no,
I'm
not
hammered.
with this. I'm
Don't do
fucked.
this.
I can barely stand up
Just
right now.
drinking Buc-ee's all night.
Oh,
I'm wrecked.
What's y'all's like booze of choice growing up? Like you guys don't get Buckfast, huh?
No, that's a Scottish.
Scottish boys.
Yeah, you had that though on Christmas, New Year's.
Mhm.
Yeah, we just drink like basic bog standard lager.
Lager. Yeah,
Yeah.
just pints.
Yeah, pints of lager.
Right on.
Gin is very big over there, and
Oh,
it's very
yeah,
good.
gin is a
over
big
there.
thing now.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that UK in general though,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
Because I think maybe more just Europe because I know Amsterdam's really big on gin
Mm.
because
Oh,
they
yeah.
have like a juniper and like little gin shops.
Oh, okay.
Amsterdam. Have you guys? Where else have you traveled? Like out of the country that you've spent any time?
Together.
Yeah, or
You're in
or
Sweden?
solo.
I've been in Sweden and Denmark, but
Oh, shit.
Wales is the only place that Wales
yeah, we
and
went
you
together
know
in England.
Spent
yeah.
time.
England
Yeah.
we've been together.
How's fucking Denmark? Where would you go? Where did you go to those places for?
I went to Sweden to compete in IPF Worlds,
Okay.
and Denmark was like a ferry boat away. And I
Mm.
went with Max, Ada, Joanne, Chris Dunsmore, and I think maybe one other person I can't remember.
Sure.
And we just toured some castles and had some like beers and stuff for an afternoon, and then took the ferry back.
How good would return?
It was cool, yeah. I mean, it was the first time I'd really ever seen a castle because that was before I went to Wales, and those were crazy. They like to drink a lot out there. Like we got off
It's
the
cold.
ferry,
That's
and
what
there were like
happens. The further north you go.
yeah.
kids with like a handle of vodka just like chilling outside,
Kids?
and well, they're probably like teenagers or
Oh, right.
something
Yeah.
with like a handle of vodka. And you're like, you don't really see that in the U.S. Like in most
Drinking age
places.
there is like 16. though.
Yes, yeah, it's
Oh,
very,
16.
it's pretty young.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so they're all just fucking
Yeah.
going for it.
Yeah.
But it was cool. I mean, I only saw a couple castles, so I wouldn't say that I've seen all of Denmark.
Got into the culture yet, but
Yeah.
curious enough to return.
Yeah, absolutely. I go to Sweden again too because I didn't get to see much of actual Sweden. We went to Aleko and toured over there and did some like touristy stuff, but didn't get to see much of it. And I didn't have any meatballs, so it's kind of a waste.
Bummer,
Not
dude.
even. Do you guys eat horse?
Do we?
Yeah. Do the Welsh eat horse?
No.
Okay.
Horse is pretty good.
Yeah, they eat it in Iceland.
I was,
Oh, they do?
I was
Pretty,
impressed.
super common.
Yeah.
It's great.
What's it taste like?
A better steak.
Beef. Yeah.
Really?
No way.
It's not that. It's not that
Better.
different. Yeah.
No, it's more tender. It's really good.
Interesting.
I mean, you're not eating old horse.
Fresh
It's
horse.
fucking foul, or foal or whatever. It
Foul.
is.
Foul?
Foul.
Close. Close.
You missed a letter. It happens
so-
sometimes. You shoot from the hip. They're
you're
not
so
always accurate.
handsome.
You hear what I'm saying?
You're so handsome.
You were in a food group, foul.
Yeah. It's can it be a protein?
You know.
We want to go to Italy, don't we?
Yeah, I want to go to Italy really bad. I've got family from Italy that I'd love to like go see where they're from.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
What about you? So, like, I always find it fascinating because now, like, living in two countries, like, what parts of home do you wish and what parts of here? Because of my travel, I always build this kind of thing in my head of, like, what would be the rad combination of all the things I like. The U.S., I love the opportunity fucking here is incredible. Absolutely insane.
Yeah.
I love also the landscape. I love how big and different and crazy it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the vibe in Iceland. I don't know a better
What is
way.
it like, though? Do you know how to explain it?
Feels logical. I don't know if that's great to say, but it does a bit.
Everyone's very direct, very straightforward. Like we said, like not easily offended.
On the politics front, like it really feels like a representation of people. I don't
cool.
get the feeling that it feels us or them. I mean, fuck, I think the president came out to one of our competitions. Also,
Really?
he doesn't have a ton to do. Like, it's like 300,000 people. So
It's true.
they can live a little
We're
fucking
running out of
differently.
events to attend.
It doesn't copy and paste well over to 330 million people. Like, it doesn't work
Yeah.
that way.
They're also extremely comfortable with their bodies, not modest at all.
Yeah.
Like Icelandic bathing culture, everyone's running around naked and kids are naked and it's all good. No one cares. No one's like trying to cover up with
the
a
beach,
towel
right?
in the locker rooms. I'd like the, hot springs.
Right.
And, yeah.
Not
'Cause
just like down the fucking street.
Well, and not even just, it's not like it's nude bathing, right? But like, the
locker room environment.
rooms
Yeah.
Yeah.
are going to be like big gang showers instead of private stalls. And like, I remember being at one of the, like ones in a city. So all the cities have like public pools and they're fucking great and beautiful and have steam rooms and saunas.
Yeah.
They're just bathing culture.
Every city over like a certain population is like required to have one, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And they're rad. So they're geothermal and heated and lovely.
Wow.
And there's usually sauna and a cold tub and all this great stuff. But the locker rooms, like I said, are just big open locker rooms. And so like everyone goes. So if I'm a dad bringing my 3-year-old daughter to the pool, she goes through the men's locker room, which is just a sea of grown man dicks. To me, I'm like, fuck, that's weird. You're not supposed to be around when I don't have clothes on. But no one gives a shit. Like, no one makes a thing of it because it's not a thing.
Yeah, so these
Yeah,
kids are
there's
growing
no
up with an
bad
entirely
intentions.
Right.
different mindset around nudity.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
being just open about that in itself is showing kids they don't have to be ashamed of their bodies.
And you
That
see
goes a
people
long way.
Yeah.
Right.
all shapes and sizes cruising around, letting it all hang out. Like, fuck yeah, good for you.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
for you.
And like that type of vibe, I'm like, I wish that was something. Like, I wish I didn't feel the way I feel. Like,
Yeah, I know
I'm
you
the
mean.
weird one in the room going like, oh, there's a kid in here. Right? Like, oh God.
Do you guys have another trip planned?
We do. So we have a fucking
Well-
gnarly March.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Are you talking about to Iceland or just?
Yeah.
No, we
Yeah.
don't have one planned yet to Iceland. So my plan is mark your fucking calendars. My 40th birthday will be next year in April. So what I'm hoping is an April trip to Iceland with
In.
all the homies.
Like
In.
That would be
all our
fucking
people.
epic.
Yeah.
Meet,
And
meet
like
over in
everyone.
Reykjavik. Yep.
Already in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
We're
do
down.
it. Do 40th birthday there, and
We,
like I'll set it up with fucking our tour guide friend, and
Get
just
a big
like
bus for
get a
everyone.
That would
bus
be awesome.
and just do it.
Yeah.
Make
Oh,
it
it'd
the
be so in.
easiest, most planned fucking. Here's how much it costs. It's all taken
Just
care
show
of. Like,
up.
I can
Just
set
show
it
up.
up
Just
as an
show up.
all-inclusive
Fuck yeah.
private
Just that
trip.
book all
That
the
would be
hotels
epic.
along the way, have the bus, have Patti, and
Tell us
then
what hikes we're doing. Like we don't have to
Yep.
think about anything. We just show up and fucking enjoy.
Hell yeah.
fucking
Like,
he'll
we're
take
in.
care of all
I'll
that.
That'd
just
be
be
so
like,
cool.
Hey friends, this is this place I've annoyed you talking about for the last decade. Let me show you why
really
it's
like you to see
fucking
it.
It
incredible.
actually exists.
I will
Yeah.
prove to you why it's incredible, and you have to come back. And
We
if you
show up
don't,
there and you're like, here it
It's
is.
fine, and it's
Yeah.
your opinion. You're wrong, and I hate you.
And
It's
it's
just
like a cardboard
April.
fucking backdrop that just falls over.
Yeah. And he's just like pouring a bucket of water for a water
Right?
fountain. See?
It's just gas
Looks
station
better
hot
on
dogs.
film. It is. It's a lot of gas station hot dogs.
Gas
That's a
station
fact.
hot dogs are so good over there.
Gas station hot dogs are nice
Yeah.
fun.
They like panini press the buns.
Dude.
They roll.
Well, like the same ones that they have over here. Like the
No,
ones
no,
that
no.
just
So
fucking
they're like
roll all
longer.
day.
The beef quality's better.
But do they?
the bread
They don't
quality's
sit out
better.
all day. Like they.
No, so they're
That
like on a
freaks me out.
griddle.
Fuck freaks me out.
So they're on a griddle, like, and they ain't sitting out all day because people are buying the fuck out of hot dogs.
Right, okay.
But,
But
the
like
main
their
difference,
hot dog toppings
yeah,
are like a potato salad,
What?
like fried crispy onions,
crispy onions.
Ooh.
and then they
That's
don't
the
do
move.
like mayo mustard ketchup. They have like a chili ketchup, and then they have like a hot dog sauce.
Yeah, it's like
Which
it's
is-
kind of like an aioli type
Yeah,
thing.
and then there's like another that's like a honey mustard.
What's the
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man.
things
They're
like that
into it.
They just do
always
hot dogs
interest
right.
me. Of like,
How did we get
why
here?
did this thing get you, and why is it popular?
Well,
Like,
and
did
then the
one
stuff-
American come here and be like, "This is a hot dog," and everyone
Hot
in
dogs
Iceland's
aren't
like,
ours.
"What the
We
fuck?"
didn't. I don't think we invented hot dogs. I don't know where the. I
I
don't
think
know.
you did.
I have no idea.
I don't know where hot dogs came from.
Young Brant, quick, do
somebody
a Google.
this.
But they crush burgers.
You know where hot
Oh,
dogs?
burgers.
came-
They
They crush burgers, hot dogs, and
Ooh.
pizza.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. They like bullshit food.
They like bullshit food.
They also like playing
What?
board games and fucking hanging out. They're good at inside shit because it's dark a big chunk of the year.
Wow, that's
Uh,
cool. That's
Is the
good way to
lifestyle
put it.
very like active?
Germany.
Of course.
Hot dogs from Germany.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a
Dick-shaped
sausage.
food.
Yeah. Oh,
I knew it.
look at me like the
I
German
looked at her
person in the
too.
room.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why he looked at me.
The
Jeez.
German.
Let's hear your German, babe.
It's not good.
He goes, "Oh, scheiße."
That's all you need to know.
He says.
Oh, more scheiße.
All right. Well, he learned that the German word for pet
Haustier.
is Haustier.
Oh, Haustier.
So now he just walks around. But anything that's
That's it.
German goes, "Oh."
It definitely has a. Oh.
Like it's required that you say that beforehand. Oh, Haustier.
What would your Welsh? What would your Welsh thing be?
It's not any good. I'm not good at accents. That's or even what it'll sound like is me halfway doing Scottish.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Is
it'll
there any
sound-
noise that you get into?
No, like my favorite
You
Scottish.
speak with a rhythm. That's
Yeah.
like the,
Yeah, I'm
the
a bit
thing
up and
that
down.
yeah.
Yeah, the
Sing-
Icelanders
sing
do the
sentences.
same.
He said something about something being yellow. It
Yeah.
was like that.
We are a bit like Icelandic.
Everything's
about-
fucking sing song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sing song.
Whenever I'm in Iceland, it's bad. Like, cause I'll mimic it.
But like unintentional. or-
Yeah, yeah. I can't fucking help it.
Yeah.
That I'll pick up pieces of it, and it won't annoy you. But like, if I call and talk to my brother, he's just like, "What in the fuck? Why do you sound like that? Why are you singing to me?"
Yeah. Well, everything kind of ends in a question.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah,
it's like-
the high at the end.
Yeah.
I do that.
Yeah. There's an inflection at the end of most of
Yeah.
everything.
I just had an idea.
okay.
So your brother doing the voiceovers.
Yeah.
What if you paralleled and did voiceovers in an accent as well? Just to make your brother look better, maybe? Like, here's your two options.
Like I'm.
You got
Like,
my
I'm
shitty
negging
accent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you've got this good voice.
This Optimus Prime.
The Brothers
motherfucker.
Vincent voiceover club, and I'm over there just going like, "We're coming to get you," like just doing shitty reads of stuff, and they're like,
What was
we'll
that?
use the other one."
And you show up like in Step Brothers. You're both wearing
Oh,
tuxedos.
tuxedos.
Yeah.
Sitting behind each other.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, just put-
God, my brother would be so bummed with that whole scenario. I think this is how business works now. Dress up with me. I'm excited that this is what 40 feels like. It's fucking very well. We got a year and a half.
There you go. Year
I'll
and a
be
half.
April will be 39. Yeah, year and change.
Yeah, you're 39. Or you will be 39.
Pretty much into it. Where are you at these days?
I'm 24.
20 fucking
Be
fuck,
25
get
this
outta
April.
Here, dude.
I think she's been 23 or 24
No,
for
you've just
a
been
really long
20.
time.
Fuck, and yours 20. How old are you?
31.
All right, fucking great work.
He's an adult.
He's an
He's an adult.
Please don't.
So, number one, as an old person, congratulations, dude.
Thank you.
Like, I just want to say everything you do, and have known you as long as I have, yo, you're a fucking stud.
Thank you.
Like, you have it, and it's hard work, and you've just consistently continued to show up and been able to continue to move with it.
Thank you. It's been helpful having a group of people like you guys. You know, I of course have to go through my own struggles with business, but like we talked about, there's wizards in my circle that have gone through it as well. But I'm in a really cool chapter of my life right now, hiring these coaches.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you know who Zach Bartell is, SoCal Powerlifting.
Yeah.
He has like a business mentorship program, and he's 25. He's
Sure.
my age, and he's had a gym for years, multiple spaces. Like, he's just been like a hustler kind of person. And he reached out to me a while ago. You know, we've always known each other casually, and he was like, "Hey, you've got a lot of momentum in what you're doing, you know, on social media and with like the programs you're coming out with. You know, I help people, and I like do these like courses and whatnot, but how about you and I just get on a call and we can talk about some things?" And like friend to friend, he's like, "I think, you know, you just maybe need some direction, like, no offense." And I was like, "Yeah, fuck it. I can always take the constructive criticism. I'm happy. If you want to give me that time of day, I'll be there always." And so I meet with Zach every Monday. And the first time he was like, "Well, you know, you got all this momentum, but like, what does the end goal look like for you?" And I was like, "Well, I want to have a business that surpasses me. I want to have a bunch of coaches that are very competent, intelligent, they give a shit, and I want to hire people, and I don't want it to be about me at all. And like, I don't want it to be the Maddy Forberg powerlifting, whatever." And he's like, "Well, hiring people is not hard. Why haven't you done that? You know, I was like, I have these waiting lists. I've got 3 separate waiting lists that have over 200 people. I'm not going to coach that many people.
Right.
That doesn't make sense." And he's like, "Well, let's keep talking every Monday and we'll get you to hiring people." So every week he's taking me through the process of hiring people and setting things up to like have a legitimate business, not where something like clients just pay me on PayPal and whatnot.
Sure.
And he's been instrumental, and it's been really cool because he's just given me the time of day. You know, like, people pay him for that. And it was never something that I was really looking for, but having that responsibility, like somebody's looking, he gives me homework each week, essentially. And being able to, you know, have that accountability has been great. And I've finally hired these people, and it's been really cool to talk with them because they're so intelligent. Like, you know, we talked about it, PhD students, but they lack the confidence in themselves, and they struggle with that imposter syndrome, which is just insane because you're the smartest person in the room. You're the smartest person in this conversation. I'm just having the balls to talk more about it than you.
Meanwhile, they don't understand how you have it.
Right. Yeah. And it's been so awesome to, like, all I've wanted is to give these people opportunity and give them a platform because they should have it. And, you know, not to say that it's luck that we're all here, but it's really fucking cool that we can do this for work. And I want to give that opportunity to other people. And
But it's work.
yeah, it's definitely work. And it's been so overwhelmingly awesome to like speak with them all individually on like how to improve. And I imagine that's what your mentorship program feels like.
It does. It's been a long time. And even, the same deal there, right? Like, it took a long time for me to decide to jump on it because of the same deal. There's a comparison of like, fuck have I done? Like, who am I going to talk to people? Blah, 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 blah. But at the same time, now that I've started, I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, why wait?
Why did we do this? And so, and of course, right? Like, I realize who my mentors are, and I got lucky enough to be influenced by these people so much. And so, and for you going into this business thing, which is trying to figure out how to monetize whatever the fuck's happening, right? Like, whatever it is, that there is an audience who is interested in whatever it is you've got going on. How do you serve it the best?
Right.
And there's no schools for it. Not yet. There will be.
There will be.
There fucking will be, because this is never going away again. We all have jobs that didn't exist when we decided to start going to college.
Yeah, that's true.
And so the rules don't count. And so, of course, the same way that you've had coaching for powerlifting and you've had coaching for nutrition and diet and work with someone to help learn better, right, for yourself, why wouldn't you have that for business?
Yeah. And you feel like so vulnerable saying, oh, my business mentor, as if like you don't know what we're fucking talking about. But I'm like, I don't.
No,
That's
right.
okay.
I feel that way too, because there's a fear of like, so if I hire that person, they're going to tell me I have clearly no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah. How are you in this position?
Right.
Like, well, I am. I don't know.
That's how you felt about the whole George thing.
Yeah. I was really, really nervous about. We hired a friend of ours, George, came over and did a marketing weekend with us and talked about a lot of stuff for business practice and how we should pursue things with hate. And
Wow.
it was
That's
incredible.
Yeah, like
George
3
is
days of
super intensive,
whiteboard
hard
work.
into
Wow.
it.
Crews in here, yeah.
Just marketing strategy and like planning out the next 6 or 8 months of things we have to build on with brands.
That's awesome.
Wow, that's cool.
And so like George is a stud.
Super smart.
And he's worked with a ton of big companies. He was a 26-week New York Times bestseller when he built his own business and has since sold it and is now consulting and doing this with marketing, and he's great. But he's expensive, right? And I'm fortunate enough because he and I are homies and connected years ago on a thing. He's like, hey, can I just come in and talk to you guys?
Wow, that's cool.
And so there's still a really uncomfortable part to be like, I have to open the door. Like, this doesn't work if I bullshit it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm not willing to say, yeah, we're fucking terrible at that.
Yeah.
Or I don't know what you mean by that business word you're using.
Exactly.
Right.
I've
It's
had
like,
that so
Just
many
being
times.
vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best way I could think of it, it's like, you know, when you go to the mechanic and then you fucking open up the hood and you have no fucking idea what you're looking at.
Yeah,
And
and
they
of course
can-
you don't.
They can fucking point at every single thing and be like,
Yeah.
that's fucked, that's fucked, that's
That's
fucked.
it. You're
And you
opening
just
the
be
hood
like,
of your business.
Yep. I suppose.
Yeah.
But like, what a benefit it is to be brave enough to make that call. And then now light is put, because you're not terrified of effort and work and energy.
Yeah.
I don't know where to put it.
Yeah.
I need someone to say, this makes more sense, right? And you go, fuck, that does make more sense.
Yeah.
You know,
It
and
sounds
be
like-
able to understand the why.
The same relationship you have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your
it's
business
incredible.
mentor.
And he, nothing is really like off limits where he's like, oh, well, we're just talking about this one thing. Like, we'll talk about personal finance. We'll talk about like
It's all the same.
taxes and all that. And he is, he's been, shout out to Zach because he's been really great.
And look at how much that can help your partner too.
Exactly,
Like you were
and
just
that's
talking
what
about
I'm
the
saying.
relationship that your coaches have, with
Yeah.
that imposter syndrome, or why would anyone listen to me, and being brave enough to go out there and put yourself out there and get the eyes. Like, yo,
Yeah.
all this helps all this.
Right. And that's what I said to him as well a while ago, because the first time that I made my own shitty website, it was shitty. A lot of shit didn't work, whatever. I was too broke
That
to
link,
hire somebody.
Don't worry about that link.
Yeah. I don't know what that
Just
is.
don't hit that button.
But like now he's building his own website and I'm going through all these things to figure out like boundaries with clients and athletes and how they should pay and invoices and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, I'm so grateful that I can go through this while you're doing this right now, because all this shit, I'm just going to put it, like I'm going to shove it in your face.
we have that
do
figured
this.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know
You
how to
have
do
that
this.
knowledge now. You have that information. You can
Right.
help each other. You're growing
Yeah.
together.
It's so cool.
It is awesome. It's also very inspiring because obviously we have a desk where she sits opposite me. So I'm working on my thing and I'm listening to her conversation. Well, not like listening in, but I can hear her conversation about various things about the business.
Buy, sell,
Yeah,
buy,
yeah.
sell.
Stocks, bonds.
Yeah.
No, it's like
Yeah, I
it's
get
like
it.
it's like
The
bonus
interest is
information.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're soaking it up just by being there, like,
Yeah.
which is dope
And
because
it's
you're
very
learning at the same
inspiring.
time. Yeah.
It's very inspiring because obviously, like, I could easily be like, well, fuck, she's doing good things and I'm just fucking sitting here doing nothing. But it's just like, the
You're not
ru-
competing, man.
No, exactly.
Yeah,
We're
you're on the
working
same
it
team
together.
here.
Same team, dude.
Yeah, we're on the same team.
And,
Yeah.
look, and sometimes being on the same team is realizing that your partner has fire.
Yeah,
And how do I put air into it
100%.
and let it run? Like, I got to do that motorcycle trip last year with
Yeah.
Matt Frazier.
Yeah.
And so talking with him and hearing about like what he was sharing about his relationship with Sammy, super interesting. And it was basically he was with like, he's not, or as we're talking, he didn't get into CrossFit because he loved CrossFit. he saw CrossFit as an opportunity. He was a weightlifter who was strong, and he's like, I believe I can build the horsepower to kill everyone in this sport. And he's like, but for me to do that, that's all I can give a shit about.
Yeah.
And Sammy said, cool, I'll take care of everything else.
That's
and we
awesome.
do this for 5 years, and we don't ever have to work again. And then we go into doing shit Sammy's into.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, man, I'm into it.
Team.
I get it, dude.
I was weirdly thinking about that this morning, about certain athletes and the very, very elite athletes. And I've obviously seen behind the covers in terms of like my brother and living with him, that the very, very elite athletes, that everyone says, oh, you have to be dedicated. And like when people take that at face value, they just think about, oh, I have to train hard, I have to get my diet right. It's not necessarily just that, because anyone can actually commit to doing those things. It's about being like savagely dedicated to this one thing, that you have to be fully dedicated to that. And sometimes it can be detrimental to other things in your life. And you have to have that other person or people around you that are like, hey, we believe in you, that you're going to do it. So you just fucking do that.
Right.
And all the other bullshit, we can cover it.
Yeah, you have to be so convicted and dedicated to do a thing, right? That other people think being dedicated to your thing is better.
Yeah.
So like, think about that level of conviction that's necessary for greatness whenever you feel about talking to the phone.
Yeah.
Like, yo, you've got to fucking
Exactly,
believe in Luke. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so like, look, you've got to see that that's what it takes.
Yeah, exactly.
So don't pretend it doesn't.
No, I think I'm getting there. And what I was saying before, I'm pulling myself out of like that old shell that I had to fucking sit in, because that was the only thing I could do, was like sit, wait, kind of plan what I wanted to do, and like maybe put a little bit of a foundation down on like where I thought or wanted it to go. And now it's like I feel like I'm in a stage where I'm like kind of dusting myself down and fucking getting to my feet. And I think I just need to be like, well, let's fucking just go for it now.
Yeah.
Well, there's no risk. That's the thing.
I feel like I've taken, that's why I think that's what used to set me back a lot, because I would speak to Maddy, obviously I would get like pretty upset and like, we were like pretty depressed at times. Yeah. And the reason was, I was like, fuck, I gave up so much to get to this point, and now it just feels like I don't have anything. So like, why did I give up all that, that past life to just fucking sit in this house and do fuck all? Like, I know I'm better than this, and I gave up too much to just have this. And now that we have the green card and everything else, like I said, I feel like that weight is like off my shoulders, and I can slowly get to my feet and like become who I want to be and who I know I can be. So yeah, I feel like this year is going to be really cool. So I'm like excited, and that's why it's like really inspiring to see Maddy do what she does, because it definitely transcends to what I want to do.
Hell yeah.
It's not like, well, you're doing well and I'm stuck here.
No.
At times it did feel like that last year, because I couldn't actually do it, and I was like supporting, like, you're doing really well, that's fucking awesome. But it's hard because I was like, I can't do it. Yeah. But now I feel like it's like really transcending between the two of us. And like we get to do fucking cool shit like this.
The fact that you've even acknowledged that feeling and been able to recognize a feeling of like, oh, I feel like I'm competing with you.
Yeah.
Who's my other.
Yeah.
The fact that you've acknowledged it and nipped it in the bud, like, you'll continue to get better at acknowledging it popping up. It's going to show up.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't conquer it.
Well, if you work in the same field as your partner, it's going to. In some capacity, somebody's going to be more successful at a certain point at one thing than you, and in anything you're in.
Not even in the same field, but just two entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how that goes.
I think that's what you said to me, though, the other day, was like, what we do is not normal. I think like when I go on social media, like I just follow coaches or people that are in our field, or like successful people in other fields. And
what do you mean? Everyone's doing what we do.
And then you think, like,
I see it right here.
And then
you forget that my mom's Instagram does not look like mine.
Yeah.
Right.
And
or some people don't even have.
In fitness.
No, they don't have it.
Yeah.
Or like people are just not doing normal day-to-day life, which is totally fine. But also, they don't have the stress that we have because we're trying to like push ourselves out of our comfort zone.
Except,
It's like what we had that
except there's
conversation.
people that have the same stress and aren't trying to monetize this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? The fuck are you doing in here? You've come to the wrong room, sir.
Yeah.
Like, it's a tool,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? Like that's how I look at it, right? Like that my phone is a tool, and I can either use it to cause me stress or I can use it as fucking my advantage.
Fuck you, make me money.
Fuck you.
That
make
was
me
that
money.
was awesome when you said that last year when we came.
Yeah,
And you just fucking put
That's
the phone
it.
down.
Fuck
I was like,
you.
that's very
you work for me.
Yeah.
I own you, you fucking dumb device.
I love that so much.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's a tool.
that is cool.
It's
Dude.
a tool and it's a fucking game. So you can decide how
Yeah.
you want to play that game.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a person I don't like? Boobs? Never
Yeah,
see you. You don't
never
exist.
see you ever-
You're
ever
not
again.
real.
Right.
Curate that world. That world should not bum you out because you
Yeah.
have total control over it.
And not
Yeah.
only that, dude. Like I recognize that this is super scary, weird water to navigate. Social media, and I've been a full adult the whole time it's existed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I fucking can't even imagine that this has been around since you were
I started an Instagram at like 18.
like as soon as you could.
Yeah.
Right. And then it's been work for you for how long?
Like 5 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's different.
Yeah.
Like,
Very
man,
much.
that's not what I was doing. Like at 24. Yeah, at 24, I was getting ready to fail at having my first bike shop. Like, I'm a year away from that. I'm still pretending it's working.
Yeah.
It isn't. I could save that guy a lot of trouble.
It's not working.
And so, like, I know it's easy to get around people and feel you're behind.
Mm-hmm.
But you're always, you should want to be around people that you feel behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
they're pulling you.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Don't be the one up front and everyone you know who everyone's looking at as.
Well, that's
a
why I
fucking
hired
dangerous
those
room to be in,
coaches.
man. Yeah.
That's why I hired those coaches because I'm like, if I'm the smartest person in this conversation, something's wrong.
Right, dude.
Right.
No, thank you.
I'm supposed to be the face of this.
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah.
A really good part, I think, of being a good business owner instead of just being a good personality that gets paid.
Mhm.
Being the business owner is being able to acknowledge very well, I do a shit job of this.
Yeah.
And as soon as I can pay someone else to do that, so
Yeah.
I don't have to think about it and do it poorly,
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
should get that help.
That's why I hired
Yeah.
nutrition coaches as fast as I could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's something you're not passionate about, but people want to
Help.
interact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I can't help you.
Right.
No, dude, I think it's killer. You guys.
So rad. It's been very cool watching everything develop for you,
Thank you.
especially this past year, because we can really see it change. From the outside looking in, we can see it. And it's dope.
And it helped a lot to come here last year because both of us were really struggling. And, you know, a lot of that was environmental and the people that we had in our circle. And, you know, you become what you consume. And I was just a very negative person at that time. And it was like really hard to take a step back and look at myself and be like, I am this person and I've never wanted to be this person. And so coming out and visiting you guys just was like, you know, face full into reality of who I am and what I can improve on. And that was so huge. And since then I've just been thinking like, what better time than now to do everything, do it all.
Yeah. It seems
Why wait?
it seems like everything you've been doing has just been skyrocketing since then.
I think it's because I genuinely give a shit, you
Yeah.
know, like I'm not pretending at any of the things I'm doing,
Fuck yeah.
which makes a difference a lot for me.
Which to me helps the ADD thing a lot.
Yes.
Because I like having, so we've talked about it and we haven't talked about it in a long time, but I'm at my happiest like running full speed, juggling 4 plates.
Yes, me too.
I'm super fucking miserable and bitchy at 5 plates. And at 3 plates, I'm so fucking bored, I'm also shitty to be around.
Yeah.
And so
Dead on.
it's a fine window. And so what I've done now is I've been able to have a couple different business entities
Mm-hmm.
that all take creative effort and the thing I like doing. But like there's a point when I can't do anything more for hate
Yeah.
that feels like design wise. And it's nice to have this to go do something else creatively.
That is cool.
Yeah.
And so at least I've got like 5 plates that I really am into. And so at least it's like, if I'm going to have energy, go spend it in one of these fucking places, guy. Pick the one you're most into today and go fucking give it hell.
I love that. Well, you asked me the hobby question. You asked us the hobby question. Did you guys pick up any hobbies? I know one right off the bat for Bonnie.
Yeah. I have a creative outlet.
Yeah.
Yep. I started making hats. I made hats for fucking 3 friends for Christmas. Shared a little bit about it online, and boom, people want fucking hats.
Yeah.
Which
So
is
cool.
apparently
So
a
rad.
thing.
And the setup that Matt, like,
yeah, he surprised me
gifted,
by like
yeah.
changing my desk, got me out of the house, and then they Cassie came in and like set it all up, and
That's
so
so
my desk
cool.
setup is just perfect now.
I ran out
It's
a bit
amazing.
of energy to like really pull off the final bit of the surprise, which would have been like, come up with a cool thing for us to go do. But we don't do anything. And so that would have been such a shit giveaway anyway. So like,
Yeah,
she
what are you
knows
up
the
to?
surprise is coming. So I'm basically like, hey, your surprise is coming. I need you out of the house at this time.
I
And I was like, can you just come up here and hang out?
Yeah.
And like, I don't want to beat around the bush or be clever about it. Like, fuck
I thought
it.
you like flew,
I'm
I thought you
tired and
flew
stressed
Gio
out.
in. Yeah, I thought you flew Gio in, and she was there to surprise hang out with me.
What would I had? That was never a
I
thought.
know. It's so far out there. But I don't know. I was like, maybe someone is at the house. Like, to know
Coming
what.
to see me.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so that's been a really fun creative outlet for me, and I'll work on like a project until I don't feel compelled to work on it anymore. I'll
Yeah.
come train or do whatever actually needs to be done work-wise. I also started a new subscription service on my website, my circuit training.
Yeah.
I've got Boncho Pro going on now. So people can sign up for that if they're not looking for a strength-based program. I've got like more circuit
Yeah.
functional fitness. And then I'm going to be offering a consultation option too for people to come see me in person
That'll
and
be
train
cool.
with me if they want.
Yeah.
Because that occasionally gets requested, you know.
You got the place to do
And we
it.
have
Yeah,
the place
exactly.
to do it, and we have the people that are interested, and I think that's just goes back to the community building. Like,
Yeah.
what are we able to share in person, you know? So kind of figuring out different ways to grow my business and, you know, different things that I'm interested in. It's been really cool.
Yeah.
You know, and I think looking at, you know, people I'm fired up and seeing the realities they've built all have this really unique community. And because I've never had a gym or never had a space or done any of that, I've never done it.
Mm-hmm.
But once we kind of got the opportunity, it just feels like a duh.
Well, we
Like,
both realized it.
yeah.
Like when you said in the car the other day, like, yo, we were trying to shortcut around this.
Yeah, this stage.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, and as soon as you said that, I was like, yeah, that's so dead on. Yeah, we were. And you can't. You can't. You need to have that in-person connection. You need to have
Yeah.
that community. And now we have a space and a safe space and a home for these people.
I'd way
You know?
rather be cool in person than on my phone.
Right. Well, and you want to
Yeah.
put a face to a name, a face to a brand, and you can post all the pictures you want, but people could be like, well, I've never
I need
actually
you to
met the
smell
guy.
it and like be in it and see it
Yeah.
and feel the
Yeah.
environment and know it's not phony.
Yeah.
And some people came to the Halloween party that are taking a Trover trip with us this
That's
year.
cool.
And they're like, we just kind of like wanted to make sure you guys were dope in real life. I'm like, that's fucking fair.
Yeah.
You're traveling
would
out of the country with
suck
us.
to go to
Yeah.
a different country
A
with
lot
these
of
people.
people
And
Trial
you're
run.
Aren't.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
this seems smart.
like, yeah.
Come check on us.
Right?
See what we're about.
Background
Ugh.
checks.
Yeah, for real. For real.
No, that's something though that we've definitely been missing the last year. Like
Yeah.
in person, just meeting people that like-minded people, even not like in fitness, but just
Yeah.
people that are inspired by something and just picking their brain and talking to them. Like we haven't really had that much in
I
the
didn't
last year.
I didn't realize I was missing it until we felt it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh shit, this is dope. Like I leave Sunday service like for sure feeling tired, but like my heart is so full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause I know I had just all these amazing connections today. I met someone new. Like I got to give some good hugs to people
Yeah.
that
we-
maybe didn't want to be hugged, and I attacked them with a hug. Like,
Yeah.
like man, it's just cool. And we always leave just tired and slaughtered, but like, yo, that's because we gave ourselves to the day. Like we gave ourselves
Yeah.
to those people that day.
We went to Orlando for the Olympia.
Yeah.
And so we were staying in the house, this like big house with the whole crew. Like it was incredibly amazing for me to see like the process of, this man competing in the Olympia hour by hour. Like he'd go in the front room, live in Ben would like watch him. He'd do his posing. They'd be like, okay, he can eat this if he does this. We need him to sweat like 10 more minutes posing. Like, and it was so cool to be behind the scenes. But it was even cooler to just be in a house where people really gave a fuck about what was happening. Like, nobody was like, nobody's paying attention to me today. Everybody like fully understood that this weekend is for hunters. We're here to make life easy for Hunter. And that's exactly the treatment they gave me when it was my 2 shows. Like, Hunter was a couple weeks out from the Olympia, but he was fully in for everything that I needed for my show. And I'm like, I'm just a fucking amateur, dude. Like, this is my first and second show and you're here.
Yeah, but it's just as important to you.
Right. And they recognize that. And then also being able to go to the convention that weekend and meet people at the booth again. I haven't been able to be Maddy Forberg in a long time. And it was just so great to connect with people. And like, when you have like all of those emotions of like, man, I'm supposed to be here and this is the thing I'm supposed to do. You gotta have that. Like, you're doing that with the Sunday service. I mean, people are being able to show up and be like, there's a community for me, and that makes a world of a difference to have that. Especially because on social media, we try to connect with so many people. Like, you know, you and I will talk all the time and whatnot, but nothing's like actually being here, being around.
No, it's not the same.
No, nothing replaces that.
I think like COVID's done that to a lot of people in regardless of how big the event is. I feel like it's taken that away from a lot of people.
Yeah.
And they've like their confidence or like their kind of enjoyment in actually meeting people is gone a little bit.
Well, I mean, we've really doubled down on the whole stranger danger.
Yeah.
Essentially, right? That like everyone breath can kill you.
Yeah.
Like, what better villain? And I don't mean villain to create for the sake of whatever who's listening. But nonetheless, believing the air is poison.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This is the best invisible villain to create to keep people scared that they stay inside.
Yeah.
People that act this way, it stays crabs in a bucket. You know, it's shaking the thing, and we keep pointing at each other, not the thing shaking the machine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very comfortable knowing that that's what's happening, so I won't pretend it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't understand why everyone doesn't see that that's the thing happening. But it's also not my responsibility to convince you of it. Don't care. I'm going to go ahead and do my thing. Perfect.
Yeah.
Waste time on
Wonderful.
that. I'll be busy.
Jeez.
You know, it is that choice of what you want to spend your energy on. And it is really tricky with as much community and in-person time that's been taken.
Mm-hmm.
Virtual thing's going to be a weird one if we decide to double down and continue into it.
Yeah.
Which we will.
Yeah.
Which we most
But
likely
then-
will.
Y'all get
I like
Oculus?
this avatar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm
I
into
worked so
this
hard
one.
on this
Right?
one.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like, fuck, man. I have been decorating it and making
It's
this
got
one awesome.
expensive
Yeah.
skin, man.
Yeah, also, this one, I got to be big and strong with it for a while, and then I got to change it to this, and, like, I don't know what it'll be next. But that's the fun part. It's
Yeah.
like, I can change it.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen
Mm-hmm.
fucking immediately. But, yeah, the virtual world's going to be an interesting one. I'll try to use it to the best of my advantage.
Without being fully dependent on it.
Where can everyone find you guys' stuff? Let's wrap up and go find food of some sort.
That sounds nice.
I am Maddy Forberg. You can find me on Instagram, or you can follow my business page, which is Strong for Life.
I am predominantly on Instagram, so LukeyLou2.
Boom.
You can find me at Bonschro, BONSCHRO, or bonschro.com.
You guys know where I'm at.
Peace.
Peace.